So Xavier made me start early because he didn't want to see Howard in a bra and panties anymore.
Can't imagine why not.
Yeah. So welcome to Monday. It is September 26th of the year 2022. And Jupiter is in opposition tonight. So
It
I'm
is.
finished with this show so I can go out and shoot some photos. But
Ooh, fancy.
bad thing is that we
He's so
have
fancy.
27 clips from today for no good reason other than this man, Howard Stern, lied so much today.
Mhm.
Everything that came out of his mouth was a flaming hot pile of bullshit. And so we are here to explore that and see exactly what he said today. So hi everybody in the chat. Welcome to Dennis, who we are hoping is able to ride out this horrific storm that is coming his way momentarily. And you know, if we hear from him from the car on his generator in the next 2 days, I'll be happy. And Johnny, and of course Whiskers, and
Well, I
Xavier.
got a special guest who wants to say hello. Say hello to AJ Benz. I sent him the link. AJ, can you hear us? Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Anyway, I know Anthony Kumi is on. Anyway, everybody wants to know your experience on who are these podcasts and how it all went on Saturday. You got to let us know. You got to let us in on the fourth wall.
Okay, so
I haven't listened yet, so I can't wait. I'm saving it for a. Sara told me it's great. Sara texted me and told me it's great. So
here's how it went. So I started out with just him and I and his producer dude, because every other show in America actually has somebody who, while you talk, actually plays clips. Not going to mention any names, Dennis, John, Xavier, but you know, some people actually do that. Hi, Miss Beaverhausen. Thank you so much.
Beaverhausen!
I have a Sophie's Choice decision. Emily Underdog Stern has just posted a new video. What to do? What to do? You stay with us, and that's not going anywhere. That's the difference.
You never know.
We are live. She is not.
I can't wait to see this though.
It was a lot of fun, and I was surprised that it was both AJ and Kumia. And it got a little political, which I tend to stray away from, you know, for us here on our podcast. But you know, the two of them. But
I could have told you it was him because right before you went on, I went on one of those there's a predator live next to me websites.
Yeah.
And he popped right up.
By political, do you mean they were praising AOC and Nancy Pelosi the whole time?
Yeah, they were just so thrilled. And it was a weird show. AJ went into this whole weird discussion about Artie and how he scored drugs for him literally the day before his debut on Crashing. And everybody in the chat was like, dude, so not fucking cool. But he wasn't, you know, paying attention to chat, obviously. He was just chatting away.
Did he also buy rope for Dana Plato?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, wow.
It was a weird discussion. Not gonna lie, I did want to see the picture because, you know, obviously you're sitting there and talking about it. And then Kumia popped in kind of very you know, in the middle of the show. Carl was trying to run like a Howard Stern themed kind of show. And to be honest with you, I would have much rather preferred to do a podcast with him of like something silly that I've never heard of or something kind of random, because you know the Howard thing is what we do, and
it's a
you know, it was just kind of I was kind of.
Did AJ lay? And Sara told me that one thing she told me is that AJ laid a compliment on our pioneering originality. That he thinks that it was the first podcast he's ever done.
Yeah, he didn't even know what a podcast was.
I remember tracking him down for the first time. I said,
"Isn't his real name Arrogant Jerk?"
Yeah.
Fame ain't it a bitch? Oh.
What he said on the show, because we were talking about it was a whole thing. I don't even really want to get into it, but I'll tell you really, really quickly.
Thank you, huge asshole.
Huge asshole.
Huge asshole.
You
That
jostle.
Monster Mash bit Grandma Stern jammed down our throats today was so damn embarrassing. Yeah, I didn't even put that on here because it was really just so.
What?
I
You
missed
did-
it. I was buying non-ethanol gas for my generator, so I
Yeah,
missed
you,
it.
Aw.
you guineas and your generators.
Yeah, we've
That's
been
another
doing
thing.
podcasts before people even knew what a podcast was. So anyway, at some point during the show, they played this clip of Stuttering John. And Stuttering John was playing a clip for this guy who's a Major General Ojeda, but he
Oh, yeah,
pronounces
yeah.
his name Ojeda.
Yeah.
Jada.
Ojeda. And everybody kept saying Ojeda, and he's like, it's
Richard
Ojeda.
Ojeda. Yeah, I think
He was
Bob
showing
Ojeda is the Mets pitcher.
Ojeda. That was kind of weird. So he was showing a clip, a classic Kumia clip of when he was having a fight with his girlfriend and she was videotaping it and he was looking for his gun. I think he subsequently got arrested
Yes.
for laying hands on her or some shit like that. And
Jesus
AJ
Christ.
Benza comes out and says the following. He says, you know what I always like to say, Anthony. Of course, not talking to me because I'm the only female in the fucking room, right? You know, I always like to say, is this if your girlfriend doesn't have any bruises, you didn't love her enough. And I'm sitting there, like literally with my eyes closed, like, okay, what do I say? What do I say? You know, I need to stick up for my gender, right? Because that's like such
Sarah told me you said I hate men. You screamed that out in the middle of the.
No, I said
That's what I heard.
I was like the balls on you two fucking gindaloons to say something like that, to agree with each other. It figures.
Of
There's
course.
something to that effect. I don't even remember.
You should have said clearly Rogaine doesn't work.
Well, then we went into a whole thing about the wig. He's like, "Are you fucking kidding me? Look at me. I got my shaved head. I'm all gray. You know, there's no way that hair is Howard's. There's no way it's a blah, 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 blah,
Well, he
blah."
bought it. It is technically his.
He does own it, and
I said,
someone else colors it, so he doesn't color it
Yeah.
either.
Wait,
Anthony
No.
has major plugs too, Monique, which he owns.
But
He
wait,
very
wait,
much
why,
talks.
No, he
why would you
wasn't-
color it? That's like watering a plastic plant.
Yeah, no.
They
How
they
does that
color
work?
it. to-
Well,
to-
it comes
to-
colored. It's
It
pre-colored.
comes colored, so he
They're
doesn't
just
color
keeping-
his hair. Someone else does.
Ah,
You
okay.
pour Sebastian wet look on it, X, and it grows. Only he can
looks
do
like
it.
he's got
I thought
Only
Afro sheen on it.
Hampton's ocean water can make it grow.
Afro
John, I swear to God,
sheen.
I thought they put 10W30 in that hair. I mean,
He's got the relaxer on it.
Yeah, I haven't listened to AJ in a long time because I think they censored him from Twitter, and then
They
he
don't
was
know where
just
to
doing
find him.
shows behind like a paywall. And now apparently he's divorced from his wife and is living in an apartment or something like that. I have
Thank
no
you,
idea.
Ida.
I have no idea. Oh, Ida, thank you so much.
Thank you, greenbacks.
Didn't listen today. Frankly, I'm surprised he had a show on a Jewish holiday. Just saying he
please.
always does. He'll take over Columbus Day, but he
Wasn't
won't
today
take
Rosh Hashanah or something like that?
Rosh Hashanah. Is it today?
Is today Rosh Hashanah?
I don't know.
I don't know. I'm just
Oh.
asking because I don't
The
know.
way he has that perfect Hampton schedule is that he has taken days like this and said, "Oh, like he's is soldiering on," and this is also he can just get right into that summer. It's got nothing to do with Judaism.
Soldiering on from what?
Nothing. I know. I can't.
But today could have been recorded anytime. I mean,
Oh,
it was
dude.
nothing timely
wouldn't
in the
doubt it.
entire thing.
Nothing timely.
Nothing timely. There was nothing timely today.
I say it all the time. If there was another 9/11, he would wait 3 weeks to talk about it. He would need talking points from 70 people. He would sit on it.
It would be
next
just like
week
happened in
COVID.
real
He would
life.
never come back into the city.
Yep.
He wouldn't
He
have
would
been
never
in the
come.
city.
Yep.
He would hightail it right the fuck out, and you would not see him again.
Any
Period.
of the spontaneity of live radio is wasted on that. He has
So-
no reason to be live in any way, shape, and form.
Maybe he won't be on next week. Maybe I can be lucky.
I don't think
I
so.
agree with you, Dennis. I hope you're right. I'm with
I
you.
hope I'm right too.
I
Christ.
don't think so. So, hello to all of our listeners who are in the chat. We love you. Our chat, I will contend, is the best chat out there. I mean, you guys are just amazing and stupid and funny and ridiculous. all at the
Well,
same time.
Siluhu. Today
What's-
is Alpaca Day and National Chimichanga Day.
Oh, I thought it said,
Oh, now we're talking.
Now we're talking something. I'm hungry now.
he said alopecia day. Yes, AJ fighting with Trump was classic, and he's like, did we argue about that after the show? Did we
No.
argue about something? I was like, no, we didn't argue. It's just that you used to hate Trump, and then you loved Trump, and then he was running Trump, but then you had all these great Trump stories, so we had to play them. We had to talk about Marla Maples fucking her security guard,
Oh
and then
yeah.
she got pregnant, and Trump had to marry her. And and you love telling those stories. He's like, oh yeah, I did tell those stories. Yeah. So yeah, it's just weird. Whatever.
No Sunflower Dragon. I would not waste an ounce of generator power to listen to this.
No, absolutely not. If he calls it
Absolutely no.
AJ, you got
No.
punched out by Chuck Zito at Scores. I thought you were dead. That was Trump's big hammer on AJ in the fight.
Okay, so Alec Baldwin.
Hey, Mo.
So yeah, baby.
I heard that Army Robin had a maid.
Oh my God. Okay, nice segue. So let's start the show.
Yeah, let's start the show.
Okay, so
We
in
got
the
a hurricane
morning,
to get ready for.
I know.
Robin couldn't get her.
All of Dennis's neighbors are like the nailing shutters down and fucking making sure that everything's safe. And
we're
Dennis
talking
is
about
dicking
Robin
around with a
not
podcast.
having a maid. Yes.
Cindy Lou Who, yes, there was a Hurricane Dennis. It hit the Panhandle as a Category 4. It is a retired name because it was a Category 4 when it made landfall.
Yeah, they retired. Oh, right. They retired names after. Right.
Yeah,
Has to be a major hurricane.
Last year, the year before, they had so many hurricanes or like depressions or whatever. They just started naming it like A and B and tropical.
You go through the Greek alphabet: alpha, beta,
Hurricane
whatever.
Beta, gamma, delta,
beta, yeah.
epsilon. Okay, so let's start the show. He started out the morning. Robin had some problems with her internet. And so he started out just pulling Ronnie on and talking about when Ronnie served in the Army and did a lot of guys jerk off. So I'm not going to get really into that whole Ronnie portion of the story.
Good.
Who
Can't
cares?
imagine why.
But there's a lot of jerk off talk today. I mean, it was just like a weird.
And I pointed out multiple times that this is a grandfather of a 2-year-old. I mean, seriously.
Right. Always related to civilian life in your life. Your 70-year-old grandfather's talking about jerking off.
Exactly.
How does that fly with us plebeians? It is.
Well, we're gonna check it out right now. Zuma real quickly says, I used to hang out with Marla Maples in New York City when she dated Trump and was waiting for him to finish his work day. She was so beautiful and really, really down to earth and fun country girl. Yeah, well, it's historically known that Trump used to go through the Ford and Elite modeling books and literally just like flip through and say, get me her, get me her, get me her. And she just, I guess, got lucky and wound up with him and pregnant, and he hooked up with her. I don't know.
How did he miss Beth? How did he miss Beth? I can't believe he flipped around Beth.
Yeah, I know.
That's crazy. She must. I know she's in there. She's got to be.
Hello, Drew Show. Thanks for coming and hanging out with us tonight, AJ and Mr. Cutter. We're playing gig. I don't know what you're talking about, so come back to me and tell me. So here we go. So he starts to ask Robin about her time in the Army and did she have to? Oh, they were talking about people shitting and that in the Army barracks there's really no like partitions. So when you go to the bathroom, you just it's to get you as a team, it's to get you as a group and all that shit. So of course Robin comes in with her 2 cents. So let's start the show.
It's like being a pack animal.
But you didn't shit in front of other people, right? You had your own barracks.
I had my own little private room, and I had a maid.
I had a maid. Well, she was an officer.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. She wasn't a grunt. You never showered with other female officers, did you, Robin?
No. I wouldn't even know where they were.
Right.
When it was time to shower, I had my own bathroom.
What a sea monkey.
Was Ronnie drafted? Isn't he the perfect age?
Oh, he's 70.
He was drafted. Yes.
Okay. And Eugene's getting drafted.
Did he
They had that sign at the front, like must be this tall to be unless.
Exactly. Wait, did he see action? I don't even know.
Did what Monique say again?
Did he see action? I don't know.
No, he's too old. Well, no.
He's too Jewish.
No, he's the right age.
He's the right age. Robin was too busy taking checks that were over her pay and not saying anything about it.
Did he have like one of those college deferments because he was a Rhodes Scholar?
How come we don't have Ronnie Vietnam stories ever?
Because he probably never went overseas. A lot of guys
guess
didn't.
so. I'd love to know what this is. This new?
The funniest part about this whole conversation is every time you talk about military, and Howard would run to some ridiculous college story that was just so 4 runs down. Like, dude, no, it's not the same.
Oh, they're all talking about AJ and Gabe Kaplan have a poker show on some random
Do they
channel.
really?
Oh my
Okay.
God.
Right on.
Trump would have absolutely given Beth a baby. Absolutely. Absolutely.
The best
Okay.
Can't
baby.
even
The
have a
greatest
baby
baby.
with her whole
Greatest baby.
womb. It's so polluted.
So polluted. Okay, so let's go on. So then Howard starts talking about his jerk off scenarios because Ronnie was talking about some guy who used to jerk off in the shower. And
70-year-old man.
and Howard was fascinated by this, that how can somebody actually jerk off in the shower when everybody's watching him? Ronnie's like, well, nobody's really watching him. We knew he was doing it, but nobody really cared about it. Oh, Ronnie got in the National Guard to stay out of Vietnam.
Oh, there you go.
There you go. But he
After he
still
goes,
put in his
What a
time
brave
at
man.
UT. So listen, I would have done anything possible to get out of Vietnam if I was a guy. I'm not gonna lie. I would
after he goes, he's opening up Vietnam scores.
scores Vietnam, exactly.
Scores Vietnam.
Okay, so let's move on.
boy. Love you
And,
long
Yeah.
time.
Let's talk
Was
about
Vietnam, man. I got a tattoo.
let's talk about how we're jerking off. So now he tells us that he never
Ah.
jerked off at camp. I mean, this is a running theme throughout the entirety
Liar.
of the show.
I went to summer camp for 6 weeks out of the summer and, lived with other boys in the bunk. And man, you never jerked off. I didn't jerk off the whole summer.
Hmm.
I mean, I didn't even think about it. I mean, you're not going to jerk off with other dudes around. Who is this guy? We got to look him up.
So here's the weird thing, and I'm really thinking about this a lot lately because of a lot of shit that he was saying today. And I think no doubt his mother really fucked him up. If you're gonna laugh about something, you got to tell me what it is.
All right, David, the violinist, opening a lesbian bar named Lickety Splits. I'm sorry, I had to laugh.
Because the biggest comment I ever get on the podcast is like, oh my God, you guys laugh at absolutely nothing. And I constantly have to remind people that it's because we're doing a YouTube show and we look at the chat and sometimes we don't call it out. So if you see something, please call it out to me. And then
I'll try.
You always have to
I'm
think in
sorry
an
to interrupt.
audio component kind of way.
What?
You always have to think in an audio component kind of way.
Yes,
Say,
of course.
if you're
And keep in
listening to
mind,
this
there's a
on
delay.
Spotify, what do you think?
Right.
How we're reacting to this.
Right.
It's
And then,
impossible
you
to
have
always keep that up.
for sure. Okay, so I'm going to go on a little bit and talk about how he also never jerked off in college. Here we go.
And you're
when
exhausted,
I
yeah.
went to college, I roommated with 2 dudes in the same room.
Yeah, that's
Howie
amazing.
Jerked
Brasco.
off that whole year. I mean, I just never thought about it. There were 2 dudes in the room. I'm not going to jerk off.
Right.
I can't imagine how I'd be ostracized if I was busy masturbating in front of them.
Call me crazy.
I totally
but-
believe him. You know why?
Yeah.
Because he was too busy blowing those 2 dudes.
Yeah, exactly.
Jerk off.
Well, it was Dr. Lou and like some other dude, and
Well, wait a
they
minute.
were moving out of the dorms the next year.
I never remember hearing that he was with 2 other guys. I remember it was always Dr. Lou. Do you remember a third person?
No.
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 40 years of
Circle
these
jerks,
stories.
yep.
I've never heard that
I
before.
know, right?
The circle
Oh, there's so
jerks.
many more that you've never heard of coming today. I mean, that's
Were
literally
those
why I
guys
have
doing an
20
Eiffel Tower on him?
There's so much. There's so much in today's show.
High five.
Eiffel Tower.
But I think that I truly
They gave
do
him a Profi
believe
Wars.
that his mother did such a fucking job on him.
She fucked
As
him up.
Okay, who? I mean, like you take 10 random dudes, like 6 of them are gonna have overbearing mothers. And 6 of them get over it. Howard, we talked about this earlier today, and this is like he hit middle age 30 years ago.
Yeah, he started
And this
using the word
motherfucker's
dude
still
at 50
talking-
years old.
Like he literally is talking about stuff like high school is 4 years. Think about it.
I know.
If you started high school in the 2020s, you would already be a junior in high school, and shit's almost
COVID was
over.
your high school experience.
So, and this guy is still like
Zoom
coming up with
COVID.
these preposterous, embellished, made up, phony scenarios that happened to him, like literally 50 years ago.
Yeah.
Monique, what do you mean by she did a number on him
I
specifically?
think that she was. I think
Oh,
she
come
was.
on.
She was. Listen, obviously, we all know Ray was raised kind of fucked up, right? Her mother died. They're children of the Holocaust. You know, thing. Okay, no. I think that there's a specific type of child who, if he's the only son, You know, the sister is a couple of years older than him, so
Oh,
he might have
man.
been a mistake. Who knows if she lost one between the two of them that he never told us about? Who knows? But he is much younger than her, or substantially younger than
Yeah.
her, and she smothered her baby
Yes.
boy.
So
Well, that's
what?
true.
Oh,
Well,
without
no,
So
no.
what?
it is
So
so what?
No,
what?
no, no. But you
Dude.
remember,
He did a
remember,
number.
he's
did a number of
years in the 80s. He even said that his mother would tell him, "You're my representative to the world."
world.
Literally,
And
that's some messed up shit. I mean, seriously.
bro,
I mean,
in high school, I remember the first time like I shaved like all my facial hair, like, you know, because I was like a mulatino. And my mom, like, literally, this is like I'm 15, 16 years old. She said, "You said you were gonna have a mustache." I'm like, that was in fucking preschool. Like, most people fucking get over that shit. Like, I mean, I literally said that I wanted a mustache when I was in preschool. It's like most human beings at one point realize, you know, their parents are their parents, and you get over it. And this motherfucker is still
I
acting
think
like
she was
somehow
oppressive, though. I
like
don't know.
he's so traumatized.
Well,
Give me a
you know what?
break.
He was a fragile child, and
oh, he's a
Fragile.
sometimes
deal.
Yeah,
parents,
fragile X, maybe.
Spoiled veal.
you're right, Chaka Khan. Ray definitely shared too much with Howard. Yes, she probably did.
Eh,
But treating him as a
People
precious
get
gem,
over it. This
listen, he
guy,
was
you know what?
over.
And not only that, I think it's a general consensus that most of this is bullshit. So it's
Yeah,
like
well, then there's
he
lies,
probably,
right?
like we've discussed
Yeah.
a million times, he probably had a normal childhood. But now,
Mm,
rather than talk about the interesting shit, like the fact that he has like 3 chef kitchens, he's got like 80,000 square feet of living. Like, why don't we talk about how many times Beth likes to redecorate and how much that costs? You know, he talked about an investment. What was the investment? Let's get fucking brass
the
tacks here.
investment.
Talk to us about
You know how much
all
money
the
I
shit
have
that you don't
invested
talk
in you.
about.
Okay, that's not going to happen. And the point of today's show, and this is when I realized it, because as I'm listening to these stories, I'm like, holy fuck, even if like 15% of it is true, I personally never experienced it. Like I never had overbearing parents. I had, they were probably the exact opposite. They were probably too lenient with me, you know, allowing me to do whatever the fuck I wanted to, whenever I wanted to. You know, I took trains at like 10 or 11. And so maybe there's some like happy medium between the two, but I could see how being the opposite of what I was would also have its repercussions. And
What
that's
exactly was he not allowed to do? He's just a
not
spoiled
not
veal
allowed, but I
brat.
think, like
He was
Chuck
just
Khan said,
smothered.
he was smothered. She shared too much with him. You know, no kid ever wants to hear about like your mother thinking of thinking of suicide and shit like that. Like no kid wants to hear this stuff. You know, they don't.
No.
You don't want to know anything about your parents. You just want to
Yeah.
know that mommy and daddy and they're happy and that's it.
So
Period.
I don't think I'm kind of, not sold on the whole that she kept on saying she want to kill herself. That I'm not so sold on. But what she did tell him about was the Holocaust, her growing up, and all that. I mean, really messed up stuff when he was little, and that type of stuff was kind of
You
that
know
was
what?
really messed
I
up.
don't
I
think it's
agree
as
with our
bad
new
as
And for a
he says
veal.
it is.
I
He's
agree with
not
our
full of
Nubian
shit.
princess, Crazy
This was
Robin.
years ago, though. This is in the 80s. This is when he could be
Bro.
called out, when he could be called out on his lies by his parents, and they never refuted this. They actually agreed with it. So that actually did happen. So that kind of fucked him up.
Yeah, but he's the dude's a veal. He's a mental
Oh, he's a
veal.
veal too.
Bro, in fifth grade, my best friend blew his hand off with a cherry bomb, in
Didn't
during
everybody?
New Year's.
My
But
John
by
Mellencamp over
Halloween,
here.
he was already playing baseball with us.
Oh yeah.
Come
Oh,
on, man.
God,
Did he
the
become
guy
a pitcher for the Yankees? Oh,
guy that owned Carmine's Pizzeria blew his
Uh,
2 fingers off with a grenade with one of those M80s, and then when he came back to work, like, the next season, he couldn't, like, toss a pizza anymore, and all the pizzas were really fucked up and kinda, like, really
what
circular,
Xavier didn't
and
tell
then
you
he'd, like,
guys
touch
though.
your hand with, like, his, like, little claw hand, and you were like, "Ah, don't
It
touch
was so
me."
funky. What it was is he was there with his 2 brothers, and they threw a cherry bomb, and they thought it was a dud. Like that's
And of
and
course
he
he
went.
went to pick it up.
We went to go pick it up. He picked it up. It's just
Boo.
boom.
the
Boo.
old thinking it was a dud trick.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, we're gonna move on a little bit, and
What
we're
Xavier
gonna
didn't
go.
tell you though, guys, that went on to be Jim Abbott, the pitcher.
Exactly.
Right.
He pitched for the Yankees.
Jim Abbott was awesome, man.
Okay, we're moving on as you keep telling me to do. So, yeah, let's listen to this.
I had a friend who had a sleepover at my house one time. He was staying over for the weekend. And I'll never
Homo.
forget, he said to me, "Hey, man, let's
Hey,
jerk
man.
off." And I'm like, "What?" He goes, "Yeah, you're in your bed. I'm in my bed.
Okay, so Howard had 2 beds in his room.
Why?
No, he
Jerk
didn't.
off." I go, "Dude, that's not happening. I'm jerking off in the same room with you."
Right. So this
He-
is a kind of,
Wow.
this is kind of a mishmash of stories.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
and there's
we've heard
more
this
to
before.
it
Conflation.
later. He comes back with yet another one about a friend of his wanting to die. It's such a
Because
weird
we all
show
know-
today. It was kind of crazy. Yeah, go ahead.
We all know that the true story is his black friend that wanted to jerk him off. That he was friends with, that Benjamin found. That little story, he was like 12 or 13 when that happened. So that's, but he's
Be
kind of
brave. Times will change.
convoluting it with these kind of, it's just mixing.
But if you're a man, be safe, be brave, and above all, be proud to be a boy
Good
lover.
boy lover.
I'm so glad I pulled that for tonight.
What was the kid's name? Dudley?
Dudley?
Howard's friend? Oh,
Dudley.
oh, Crazy Robin's got it, of course. Alan. Is it Alan?
Yeah, Alan.
Okay, I thought it was Dudley.
Okay, so yeah, so there he is. Right, just
Not the
looking at it,
sleepover
hear your
story.
friends say, "Let's jerk off."
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Time to oil the old baseball glove.
Okay, so just put that as a little like nugget right back here because we're gonna come back to that a little
Right
bit
back there.
later, okay.
To go
let's-
to Ian.
okay, here's lie number 27 of the day. Ready for this one?
When I was a kid, there was no porn. There was nothing. There was a kid who lived near me. He says to me, "You got to come over. My aunt and uncle live in the basement."
Okay, aunt and uncle live in the basement. So listen to the
Okay.
story. We've never heard this story before. This is new.
Completely new story. Yeah.
2022. Okay, they're in the basement. Here we go.
We can watch them. They fuck all the time. So we're outside.
So chuckling in the chuckle bunch today is Richard and
JD.
You're so right about that fake laugh, Monique. I read that in the mockery thread, and you were spot on about that fake laugh. That it's as annoying as you said it was.
this is as annoying as can
Yep.
possibly
Me and
be.
this kid,
Listen to this.
and we're watching. His uncles and his aunt are sitting in lawn chairs, and
Lawn chairs. So
Howie Brasco.
oh, he's already outside in right because who sits in lawn chairs? But
No,
okay, let's go on.
they're poor. They have lawn chairs in their basement
continue.
apartment.
in the basement. Don't forget, I was in a poor neighborhood. So they're sitting there.
Hey,
The uncle's reading
sure.
a Playboy. Picture the scene. The
right.
the dude's wife is sitting there next to him, playing with his dick and jerking him off while he's reading Playboy because she was fugly like you wouldn't fucking believe.
He's saying fugly now.
Fugly.
Right.
Okay.
Which back
Okay.
staffer wrote him
Wait.
fugly.
So he's reading. She's there. Okay.
Yeah.
There's more. Wait. Let's continue.
Oh, I
'Cause
have
it gets
no more.
funnier.
No, I have no more. I didn't want to.
Oh, so
couldn't
what
go
he
on with
says
it.
next,
It was
though.
too long of a
Now
story.
picture the scene. Now, as he says, picture. So he's reading this Playboy. She's playing with him, but then he's fondling her while he's
Right.
reading the Playboy.
Right.
Yeah.
He's
In
fondling
lawn
her
chairs in the
boobs while he's
basement.
so
in
I don't
lawn
know
chairs
how he's
in the basement that they can watch
yeah
from above. Right?
stuff right. And even Robin actually stopped him and went, "How's he reading if he's trying to reach and fondle her? How's he holding the magazine when he's trying to feel?"
She called him out a few times today.
It's like,
Here's another curious one, and anybody in the chat
turning-
who wants to look this up for us, by all means, do so because this was kind of yeah. I cut this clip a little bit, and I'll tell you why. Hang on.
I had a friend growing up. See, I have a similar story, except mine doesn't end up with me jerking off with my friend. I remember my friend had an older brother, same guy who let me smell his finger for the first time.
Right. So he went into like a whole
Jesus.
thing about smelling the finger and how this guy came home from fingering his girlfriend. And they asked him if they could smell his finger. And
And
it
that
smelled
story
like
changed.
gas. And blah, 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 blah. So I passed by through this.
He was older than us. He was fingering some girl. He came home all excited. He says, yeah, I fingered my girlfriend. We were like, hey, can we smell your finger? This dude had a collection of Playboys and National Enquirers. And the National Enquirer back in that day had naked chicks in it. Or semi-nude.
In Africa
Remember?
and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah,
Africa.
no, I'm not talking about National Geographic.
You're not National Geographic in Africa.
Like, I'm talking about the National Enquirer.
Oh, the Inquirer.
And,
hot. Yeah, they'd have hot shit. Yeah.
Or they'd have transsexuals, supposedly, you know, this, they like
Bikinis.
shims. Yeah, right.
Okay. Does anybody have any evidence of this happening in the National Enquirer with semi-nude
in the 1960s. This is the 1960s.
Exactly.
60s.
What year was he born?
54.
54. So by 64, he was only 10 years old. He was
68, he was 14.
16 by the time the 60s were over.
And
So
in
all of
Rockville
these
Center,
60s.
which is a great neighborhood. It's not a bad neighborhood at all. That's how he
Right.
spent his entire high school years in Rockville Center. So it's not
Yes.
a bad neighborhood in the slightest. What do you guys
He
think
never
of what
lived in a
Sunflower
poor
Dragon
neighborhood.
says about the accent? It's an adjusted Howie Brasco. It's even, is he trying to put it on because is that his Ronnie accent? Is that his adjust to Ronnie accent?
You
There's something
really
particularly
think
annoying about it
it
today.
is. It's very annoying. He's the amount of times he says like.
Like we did a montage of that one time. We had a show probably 3-4 years ago where we put the likes all, and
It's
it
a
was
tell.
15.
It's a
Yep.
tell that he's lying. The like is him lying for sure.
And his IQ.
I believe that completely right now because like gives him another pause and another second to think of how to further the lie to another portion of it.
Yes.
He doesn't
Like-
realize, and what I wrote in the comments for today's show, he doesn't realize that all of us collectively have been listening to him pretty much for the amount of time he's been on the radio where you could hear him. And we remember, everybody knows your stories. You actually have no more life experiences.
No.
You haven't been out of your fucking house for 3 years. And even before that, you barely made it out of the Hamptons or out of Palm Beach. So you have no more life stories. You got
No.
nothing. There's nothing in the fucking kicker. You had parents that are still in their fucking 90s that were still alive. You have no life stories. Nothing has happened in your life.
So as Crazy Robin succinctly puts it, 2 Jews wanting to be Italian.
Eugene.
It's literally what it is.
The Eugene show.
The Eugene show.
It's the Eugene show. All right, so let's move on a little bit to this was kind of weird, and I just listened to it, and then let's talk about it. Here we go.
Because she inspected my room every day, like 2 or 3 times a day. And if she
Okay, so this was like a whole nother thing. So he started talking about how his mother was obsessed with him having a clean room. And if anything ever was out of place, she would yell at him or write him a note to make sure that, he would clean it up. It's coming in the next clip, but just listen to this.
Crusty here.
Oh, my mother would have killed me. My father was insanely cheap. He grew up in the Depression. So did my mother. And they took it really personally if you fucked up anything in their house. I told you I used to chew on my furniture, and that got me in big trouble.
He used to chew on his furniture.
Like a
My
puppy?
dog used to chew on the furniture.
Hey,
Give it
Howard, check
Nylabone.
again that.
About 9 months old has grown out of that. So
Hey, Howard, check again. That wood in your mouth ain't the furniture.
Is that Allen's wood?
weird.
Exactly
and
right.
And Ben's so cheap, he sent you to the 4th most expensive college in the United States, in Boston University.
Exactly. So cheap.
He chewed on furniture, and somebody in the listening
Then
thread
he sucked
today
on it.
said what it was called. That's an actual.
It's real sickness.
It's a sickness.
It's complete bullshit.
But why
didn't
would you
happen to
say
him.
it? I mean, why
It
would
didn't happen.
you
Come
would
on,
never
come
say
on,
it.
guys. Don't be
It is.
naive.
tell you guys
Shocking.
that
He's
I
making shit up
chewed
at this
on
point.
furniture? You know what I
He is
mean?
literally that dude in Anchorman where he's looking at. He goes, "I love lamp." Are you
Yeah.
just looking at things and commenting on them? It's literally what he's doing right now.
But
He's in his house.
Who
He's
would
looking at
think to
furniture
say that?
because remember he's at his house. He's looking at furniture. He goes, "I chewed on furniture."
I like there was a post from K-Tate in the mockery thread responding to Dennis about the incessant lies, and K-Tate says, this is all bullshit. You guys caught Wiggy and Robin going off the actual script today a bunch of times just to have a conversation, which means there's a piece of paper they're actually reading from during this. So they're gonna go to that much trouble just to stage a conversation. Perhaps they actually rehearsed this narrative so it's maintained. I bet Brent would have some nice info on how they prep Howie for today's bits like this while grooving. I would love to hear it too, Monique. I think that's a phenomenal follow-up for
Yes.
Brent, how this all is staged, this repartee, this
You know,
awful repartee.
the thing is, him grooving, I don't think that part of it's staged because he's so stupid. You can tell that he's lying. If you staged it, at least the lies would sound good. But
He
No,
the
doesn't
I
really
lies
think he
don't.
sounds like he's lying all the time, Dennis. I can't tell the
Yeah,
difference.
but
Yeah.
the
Conflation,
tells are
lies,
bad
what
his
he's
today.
reading.
talking points though. Like he must have a list of talking points for the day.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
sure he goes over it with Robin, so that they're both on the same page for what they're going to talk about today. We bring in Ronnie or whatever. The Drew Show says Radio Gunk. I just checked National Enquirer in the '60s. They had busty women in the cover headlines like "I married the perfect female animal. I want to be wild. Yvonne DiCarlo. Why I was a stripper, etc."
You want me to pull that up?
Transsexuals, semi-nude transsexuals. I mean, is this
Oh,
even?
I thought it was gonna be Yvonne DiCarlo semi-nude. That'd be
Yvonne
fun.
DiCarlo used to be a busty.
Yeah,
badass
she was a piece. That's why I'd be okay with that.
She was a piece.
Yeah,
Mrs.
piece.
Waterhausen says again, he claimed the furniture chewing last year. It is a bizarre thing that he's repeating these
Oh,
stories.
he's running out of stuff to talk about.
Ay, Jesus
God.
Christ. Yeah, I know. Oh, how would you leave us right now? I like listening to Radio Gunk, but Howard is so bad. I literally can't listen. No, but it gets so good. It's so good.
It's
What a
so
show. I
much
love
better.
it. There's so much shit from today. It's really just horrible.
I think some people are just in the mindset. We'll just assume he's whatever he says is a lie and call it a day. It's much easier that way.
Oh, so it basically showed girls who, were busty.
Yeah.
Okay.
You
He's
wanna know
saying
if
that
your
they actually
grandmother
know.
was
I'm looking
busty.
for a wife, but I can't find one. Oh,
Now, if it was Liberace,
okay,
I'd
that's
believe
enough
it.
of that.
Tired of being a bachelor, Elvis Presley now 30 moans. Okay, so let's move on to his mother yelling at him about leaving a T-shirt on his bed.
I told you I left a T-shirt on the bed. She left me a scathing letter that all my friends saw. I finally got chicks up to my room to hang out, like girls who were friends of mine. And the hottest chick I knew was this chick Rita. She came over. She never came over. Finally had someone come over. She sees the note on my bed and reads it out loud to everyone.
Wow.
Howard, T-shirt on bed. What's going on?
Larry Sanders acting,
Like
Dennis.
laughing at me and I was like,
Why?
oh fuck.
This is so bullshit.
Thank you,
All
Josh.
right, so
Chewing on furniture has to come from some animal bedroom cosplay they got going on.
You think?
all right, so first of all, that's the newest thing of Ray writing letters. Like, I mean, did she sit down at the typewriter and type this out and then just put it on the? I mean, this is insane. This is literally insane.
For a
That
T-shirt
never
on the
happened.
bed for a 13-year-old boy. Like, who
Never
gives?
happened.
I mean, granted, if you're shoving like your underwear and your cum socks like behind the bed, and you know what a little boy's like a boy's room smells like. Let's be honest. You're all
Okay.
No, mine was
stink.
clean.
You all stink shit.
Bro.
What?
If that was true, she would just say, "Hey, fucking stop being a slob." She's not gonna write a fucking letter. Give me a break.
She wrote a letter, dear
Well,
Howard.
Bullshit. Well, in the same way that he wrote one to Robin Williams.
Yeah, that's where he gets his finishing school
And
skills
let's think
from.
about it for a
Writing
quick
a nice
second
note.
here. Even if it was during that one famous time where she was working, which I cannot wait until we get to those clips. And she, she was on like some sort of antidepressant and decided to start working and blah, 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 blah. Even if it was then, what are we talking about exactly? So if she was going to work, Howard was going to school, Howard was coming home, and then he's home. So when are you
Thanks,
writing a
Tiger.
letter to somebody to tell them that they're that their T-shirt is on the bed. It doesn't make any sense.
How about him
Bobby,
regularly smoking pot in his room and his
we're
mom's
getting there.
coming in for room? Okay,
We're
I didn't hear
getting
it. I didn't hear
there.
the
It
show.
gets
I
better.
think the writing staff is like South Park's portrayal of Family Guy's writing staff has
Oh yeah,
taken
with the ping
minutes
pong
to
balls.
put balls with words on them into a sentence. Chew
Oh,
first.
that's so good, David. That's exactly how I picture it.
Great.
They're trying to write his childhood for him. That's exactly how I picture it.
Now, this all comes from Howard's incredibly psychotic mind. All of it.
Yeah.
All of it does.
I think he's
I
too
don't think it's
lazy
like
to make
I think it's
stuff up
just
at this
lazy,
point.
man.
Yeah,
It's just
Um,
lazy. He doesn't want to.
it's just
Hello,
lazy.
Roberto
It really
Blanco.
is just.
He says he
Exactly.
went back and looked it up. Howard told the story about peeping on the husband-wife Playboy magazine in the basement during Richard Christie's Get John's Job
Huh.
segment. Just watched the video to confirm. Were they on lawn chairs playing with each other while he was reading Playboy? I'd be curious about that.
Yeah, I mean,
Hey,
catch.
Roberto, I love when people don't use their first name. I would like to know what the R stands for. If you go to RadioGunk at
Rob.
gmail.com, will you send me that so I can look at the clip and then we'll come back to it tomorrow? Okay, everybody knows what a cum sock is, you idiot. G Canada. I can't believe you just said
he's
that.
just being he's just being
He's just,
Cindy-
he's just
Canadian.
wanting everybody to be a buzz about the cum sock. What? Say what?
Cindy
Go.
Lou Who says lignophagia. Got the fag right. Is a form of pica disorder in which normally non-nutritive substances are chewed or eaten. So that's the term you're looking for. Lignophagia.
I thought it was a limp wrist fagula. I'm sorry.
Yeah. You could easily throw.
Absolutely. I thought that Howard was an outcast. Now he's got the hottest girl in his room plus others. Yes.
Yes.
We are residing in the Howard Stern Twilight Zone, Crazy Robin. Yes, we are. Wait, it gets so much better. Here we go. Okay, I combined two clips here. So apparently he used to leave some grit in his underwear. And so his mother, prior to washing them, would
Sniff them.
put the shit-stained underwear into what apparently is the community sink because they all shared one bathroom in their first house. So
Lie.
he would put his no, I think that's true. They only did have one bathroom.
You sure about that?
Yeah. That was one of those houses that was like $40,000. I had one bathroom. We can look
not when they bought it. It was cheaper than that.
It was real cheap when they bought it.
$8,000 when they bought it.
Oh, you're probably right. But yeah, so
Sold
she
it
used to
for
take his underwear and wash them in the sink before she puts them in the laundry. And yeah, here we go.
Oh God! And I remember
This is the impetus for the
Lie.
Photoshop today.
my sister had one friend who was super hot, like smoking hot, a 10. This girl Sharon, and I had a mad crush on her. She saw the grit. She saw it like she saw, and you know what it would like if you like my mother would soap up the sink and put the stopper in. And this is the bathroom we all use. My sister used, my sister's friends if they came over. So then she'd soapy up the sink and make a big tub of soap in the sink and then put my underpants in. First she'd rub them with her knuckles. And I'm just like the whole time I'm sitting there going, Mrs. Stern, where can we wash our hands? There's you know. I go, Mom, I got no underwear. So she gave me a pair of her panties to wear.
Go away.
I swear to God. I said, there ain't no fucking way I'm wearing your panties to school. No fucking way. You're going to wear them. What's the difference? I wear my panties. I go, there's a big fucking difference. Those are panties. Are you out of your fucking mind?
Okay.
When in doubt, the 79 IQ, the creative bankrupt, comedy bankruptcy goes to dress and drag. Always go
That's
to
right,
that.
Chaka Khan. This happened 50
For the-
fucking years ago.
More than 50 years ago, actually.
It's like
Really? 55
literally
years ago.
like the sun only emitted black and white color back then.
So, all right. First, let's dissect this real quick. Ellen's
can we?
friend would be at least 5 years older than Howard because
Oh,
Ellen's
is that
5
the
years.
age difference?
Yeah, it's like 5 years. It's a big difference.
It's 5. It's more than I thought. Yeah, it's 5
Yeah,
or
it's
6
5 years.
Let's assume Howard's like 11 and Ellen's probably 16.
Okay. Oh, we'll run with that.
Ooga.
Because
Ooga.
these stories he's been telling today were very much the 9, 10, 11, 12, 13-year-old
Yeah.
Howard.
Howard, yeah.
Um,
So 50 something years ago. Yeah.
yeah, he's going back in time for this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And yeah, so Howard was chewing furniture and shitting his pants. No, not a teenager. He was going back. He was younger. Let's
Preteen.
continue with the panties though.
There's a tween.
No, I was probably about 9 or 10. I don't know. I guess I don't remember. But I'll tell you what, I remember putting the panties on and feeling real weird. And by the way, my mom had giant panties. I mean, she had the kind of panties that went up to her tits. So like these, I was a thin guy. I mean, I couldn't fit that in her panties too well, number one. And then I put them on and I realized this is weird. There's no opening for a fly.
Right.
Can you even imagine?
72-year-old Ronnie, is this how you want to spend your golden years? Talking about
The
this.
check's clear.
Getting up at 3:30 in the morning to do this. Is this really how
Check's
you want to
clear.
go out? I guess so. I would love to know what his Buckwald salary is in this role. But he's the Artie chip. I mean, Ronnie literally is in the Artie
Yes,
chip.
he is.
Oh my God,
It's
Tiger Lily. Exactly. Why didn't she give him Ben's underwear?
This is a pretend story.
Think about that.
a
Yep.
pretend story.
Who in their right mind would say, okay, I didn't wash your laundry and you didn't have enough underwear for a week's worth of time, so put on my panties without thinking for even a second that maybe even your daughter's underwear or Ben's underwear would be a more proper assessment than your mother's underwear.
Yeah.
And this is why I'm saying, if any of this is true, if any of it is true, then Ray really fucked his brain up in some horrible,
It's all
horrible
bullshit,
way.
dude.
Show of hands, how many mothers here, how many sons, how many times has your mother ever said to you, here, put on my underwear because I didn't wash yours? Like,
You think you would have heard it once
0
in your life with the compendium of friends you have? Maybe one time, but you won't. You won't hear. It's never, ever.
The real story is he put on his mom's underwear while they weren't home.
Look at
I mean,
Raphael
honestly,
Ramirez.
Exactly what
honestly,
happened.
this is
I bet you he did.
that's the best case scenario.
Howard stole this story from a letter sent to Nugget magazine. Okay, explain yourself on that one, Beth's principal. I want to hear what you're talking
I believe that.
Yeah,
I
Howard
believe
steals
that.
all the stories.
He steals every story.
How about
Yeah.
a pair of summer fucking shorts you wear outside? Yeah, of course. Yeah, Ray is way too uptight. I don't know that she was that uptight. She did overshare with her son. She definitely
Way
overshared.
overshare.
That's
with her-
preposterous.
I'm
though.
with David. I can't see it either. On any
I
level.
know.
Yep.
This is just like a really, really weird. Yeah, go commando. Who fucking cares? You're a kid.
Or, just fucking keep wearing the dirty underwear. It's better than fucking wearing your
Well,
mom's
Robin
underwear.
said to him, I didn't even put it in here, but Robin said to him, so what did you do? And he's like, well, I wound up taking them off, and she took a baby pair out of the laundry, and she put some baby powder in it, and shook them up, and that's what I wound up
Then we'll do
wearing
shaking.
that day. So yeah,
This is what you get when you got no guests. Grooving,
So-
conflation, fake stories,
Well, I mean,
lies.
Fake fucking
He
stories.
says he works Thursday and Friday on the show.
Yeah.
Good one.
All day. All day.
all day.
All
It
day.
shows because this is evergreen content. It shows. He has to be. I think he's working on it Saturday and Sunday and all day.
Okay, so thank you for sending me the clip, which I just got. So we're gonna listen to it later on if we
All right.
get to it. Thank you so much, Mr. Blanco.
I love the clip of Opie, the lockdown video. One of my favorite things is to watch Howard. He's pursing the man purse with this precious material he has, like it's this great Fabergé egg he's about
Who
to
does?
unleash on the world. When Howard's walking through, the Opie does a lockdown video where it
Yeah.
shows Howard walking through with security. And he has his man purse has like scripted material on him. He's got it all tucked under his arm like he's Walter Payton. Like
I
it's
remember
all-
that man purse.
yeah.
That man purse was like $2,000 that his wife, who doesn't make her own money, bought for him with his money so
Okay.
that he could have something
No,
special.
Arm, he's gripping it that tight because it's a $2,000 merce.
Yeah,
There's nothing
It is a
important
merce.
in it. It says $2,000.
Yeah, it's his
But he
book of
had that.
tricks.
That's
Right
Why
here.
doesn't he talk about that instead? Talk about how his wife just pisses away his money. Talk
well,
about
that's
like,
the
her
only
failed
way to make
career.
the show interesting. Next, I've
Come
said this a
on,
million
come
times.
on.
The 1%er life
To-
is the
I
only
mean,
way to
here's-
go
okay,
now.
since they clearly listen to us, hey, why don't we do a show where we talk about how her charitable, whatever she does, is deducted from whatever tax burden they have at the end of the year.
Yeah.
Well,
Never
it's the
That's what
concept
that
of
means to me.
Real
Like how-
Housewives of Squabble Lane. That's what those housewives shows do. Is they basically own and brag about their wealth, and they
Yeah.
show you the opulence and debt. And so that's the only way to do it. And he has more
Hey.
than way more than they do.
This question is for Mo. I just thought of this. Do you think since he works at home, he's taking some sort of like home office deduction now? I mean,
Why not?
I don't.
Why
I think
not?
it'd be
Yeah. Why not?
ridiculous,
Sure.
but I mean,
Why not?
I wouldn't pass it. But
Why not?
talk about that. Talk about
He's
how
not
the
gonna-
IRS sent you a letter. Like, what the
you
fuck?
keep thinking that he's going to talk about anything
No,
that
no,
has to do
no.
with his
We
life.
want him
I
to.
know I know the reality
Because I
situation.
think what X
I'm
does
just
is
saying
what I do
there's
is
a
when you
million
listen to
things he
him
could
talk,
actually
all you can
talk
think
about.
about is his money. That's all I can think about is his lifestyle. I don't
know what
hear
I mean?
anything. Unlike his friends, he's rich guy, Monique, as you've said a million times.
So
His
that would be
friends look at it
fascinating
as a
to me.
One
useful
at a time,
idiot.
one at a time, guys. One at a time. Please. Go, John.
Go ahead. Go.
No, you go.
No, I just think it'd be fascinating. I mean, he's got a shit ton of stuff to talk about. He just ain't never going to talk about it. Like,
Of course
come
he's
on.
not talking about it. Period. There's
Instead,
nothing else to
he's
say
talking
about
about shit that happened literally 65 years ago.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, think about it. His stories predate color TV.
All right, we're just going to listen really quickly to him talking about the same story during Get John's job with Richard Christie. Let me see if I can pull this up for us just really quickly. I'm not going to play the video. I'm just going to do the audio of it. Okay, so just give me 1 second. I pulled it up. Please hold, my loves. One moment. Okay.
Yes, dead
Yeah,
air.
I'm going. Hang on.
Sure it does.
Yeah, you were peeping.
Yeah. So my neighbor said, "Come look at my uncle, and my aunt are doing weird stuff in the basement. Look through the window." So I went over and I looked, and the guy was reading a Playboy. His girlfriend or whatever, his wife, was sitting next to him in a chair, and he was like using his hand on her. She was like, he was dressed, and she was like sitting there naked.
That's like that old joke. Using it to turn
No,
the pages of
Robin,
the magazine.
that's funny that you bring that up, but I'm telling you, I saw it, and he was just sitting there reading a magazine and touching her.
Oh my!
Did it turn you on, or was it nasty?
No, it confused me because it was such a freaky scene. It was like something out of a weirdo.
How old were you? Like 5th grade, 11?
Fifth grade, yeah, 11.
Okay, there you go.
Okay, so completely different story.
Fascinating.
Completely different story. Everything's backwards in this story. He's dressed. She's naked. He's only reading a regular magazine and playing with her in regular chairs.
Right.
Right on.
So,
So
Was he using
Richard
his big
has heard
toe?
the story before. Exactly. Richard has heard the story before with the fugly girlfriend. Yeah. Okay. All right.
And what's the point of this story?
I don't know.
Like,
It's
it's
still
not
time.
something that happened to him if we take
Still
him at his
time.
word, which we don't. You know?
It's what
Ooh,
Tiger
so
Lily
you got to
says.
fucking be a peeping Tom. Whoa.
How
Rebel,
is
rebel.
this a show?
We
That's
don't know
what-
how this is a show. but
How
here
is
we are-
this a
here
show?
we are cobbling
Yeah.
together something
Yeah.
like
I'm not talking about us.
Wow.
I'm talking about him.
No,
How
I
is
know,
that
but
considered a radio show content?
feel for us.
yeah,
Let's listen
I-
to him shitting his pants in kindergarten, shall we?
Because I
Oh,
remember the
that's
first
like, I
day of
can't wait.
kindergarten, I shit my underwear. I had I had
Good
actual
Lord.
shit in it. Yeah, I had issues. I shit my pants, and I remember smelling real bad for like an entire day.
Oh, you
This
didn't
shit
change
was in
them?
Well, there was a bathroom in the kindergarten, like in the classroom. I don't know how that was happening, but I
That was
remember being
normal,
in there,
actually, for
and I went, "Oh fuck, I shit my underwear." And it's you're 5 years old, so I took some toilet paper and got most of the big pieces of shit out of there. But I had some major, like it wasn't streaks. I had major shit in there.
So everybody remembers the kid who shit their pants in school. Mine was named David. David O. Let's go with. But I remember him like it was yesterday, and I remember him shitting his pants. And I remember I sat right behind him, and I said, "Oh, he just shit his pants!" And there was actual shit on the floor. He literally shit through his pants and down, and it tumbled down onto the floor.
You gotta go. You gotta go.
You gotta go.
Well, you know what? You could actually also raise your hand and go to the fucking bathroom. I mean, who doesn't know that they're going to spontaneously shit?
Howard, apparently.
He was like a stinky little nasty child.
Sometimes that thing has a mind of its own.
Yeah. Oh, I bet you he was pissing. Wait, what are you saying? I bet you he was pissing in a bottle and has Kleenex boxes on his feet inside the end of his XM contract.
Give me a break.
Yeah. Okay.
So
Here.
now we're
Tiger
telling.
Lily.
So literally,
Again.
the king of all radios telling poo-poo stories now.
Yes.
Literally telling poo-poo
stories. Yes.
Right on.
This is our day. Tiger Lily, I taught kindergarten for years. They all had accidents. We dealt with it without making it a big deal. Parents had to send extra clothes in Ziplocs for that reason. Not Howard's. Obviously, he didn't even have enough underwear. So how is he gonna like bring extra underwear to like take care of his shit?
And I bet you those kids will still talk about it when they're 70, Tiger Lily.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Every
absolutely.
day. They'll have no new life experiences. It'll be the
Hey,
only
Tiger
thing
Lily,
they'll
did you
know.
go roll poop?
All right, this is my favorite story of the day. Look who's here.
Did they finally bury the queen?
Oh, wow. I am.
You're panning too much. You can barely hear it.
No, I was panning it left and right. See?
I know.
It's moving
I know
around.
you were,
I
but it's
love
like,
it.
You need to
But what do you
crank
think
it
it
up.
is?
That voice. What is it saying? Exterminate?
Yeah. It's the Daleks. You're going to. Look, I have arrived to take over your show, and you're going to realize why I used that in a moment, because I have breaking
I am Dr.
news.
Remulak.
Oh, breaking news.
Now,
Newton-John's dead?
No, it doesn't involve my country.
Spoilers.
Alec Baldwin had another baby.
No, listen carefully. About 45
Emily
minutes
dropped
ago.
a song?
Hurricane
Yes.
Florida.
Let the man talk. Let the man talk.
Emily dropped a
Dennis,
song.
this is what annoys me about this show. Dennis just ruined my whole. Say it again, Dennis.
We know it. As somebody said it at the beginning of the show.
You already knew it.
But
You're supposed to be ahead of us.
I've got it, and we're
Oh.
going to watch it because you have to see this. Now, Emily Stern has dropped a song, and it's called A Baby Angel. And
Baby
I
Angel,
watched this, and it is. She's got some buddies, a couple of friends, and it's a very Jewish affair. And
Well, today is Rosh Hashanah, so yeah.
well, she usually doesn't drop songs at this hour.
Nice. Yeah, Elvis did die, I heard.
Oh, Jesus Christ. All right, so what do you got?
So here's the song, and it's
Hi, Bon. It's so good to see you.
hi everybody. I had to.
By the way, we're still gonna get a copyright strike. There's like they're begging for us to use their shit. Go for it.
Oh well, I bet I'm surprised we'll probably get it. I think we'll probably get a
It's all good.
copyright strike
Everybody
from.
just enjoy the show. What's there?
I think we'll probably get a copyright from BBC Studios at the end for Exterminate from Doctor Who. It
I
wouldn't
love
surprise me the way this has been going on lately. But so we have Emily on guitar with two of her friends, and I've edited it down a little bit because it was quite long, but sing along because you're gonna love this song. And this is
Did she put the words with it as well? As she
she
usually
does, and
Oh, good.
I like
well,
when the
you'll
words
get them
with it.
straight away. And she's
Guys,
as Monique.
all must sing along. Okay.
As Monique knows, she's still using the very few guitar chords she knows. She just rearranges them.
A,
It's
C,
3 chords,
A,
always 3.
C,
Better than
And
Jeff Beck.
C.
here we go.
You have video?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay.
Radio Gunk exclusive.
She has a baby angel. Maybe it's her.
Said you knew I
And
was
they
gonna
say heaven's boring.
but you
There's
never
nothing to do here.
just how much
But this angel
love.
She's jumping for nothing but joy. Her
I want to feel the sun.
She's grabbing
Barbecues.
me, oh wow. To have
Feel my friends
angels
old and new.
singing, to give your
What type of drug do you drop to do this?
Trust fund.
Male. Uh-oh. Most getting dangerous.
this hurricane has
I love the harmony.
I mean,
Here's a way I did
Public domain. Public
domain.
Where you
Screwing up the algorithm.
So when's Howard gonna have the conversation?
She has a baby angel.
Emily.
So
can we just go to the phones and end the show?
Exactly. So when is Howard gonna have to talk with Emily about having like
nothing
his
to
parents?
do here.
Here's a way to fly with
It's like a cabal.
Cruel.
Christ, you're an acid.
All right, enough of this. This is really.
Oh my God!
Yeah,
Please
can
make
we-
this stop for the love of
Okay.
God.
The only comment I can make about this is that clearly there's nobody on the other side of that window jerking off to those three broads.
No.
You know, Leslie West gave me that guitar, right?
Oh God.
Are you serious?
Yeah, no.
At this point, I'm kind of
But like I was saying,
to be honest.
remember the
Oh,
story Howard used to say about his parents took him on the side because hey, you get a little. Well, when's he gonna do that with Emily?
trust.
She literally is fart man. Wait, at this point.
Yeah.
G Canada.
Trust.
You always said you knew I was gifted. Zuzazu.
I think we sang over it.
No production value, just like that. Says the West Coast.
Oh God. No sconces, no treatments, just blinds on a gray wall. What the fuck?
More
an
gray
idiot.
hair than Howard, too, Rodney.
Lots of gray hair.
God, yes, so true.
30 years younger. More gray hair
So
than Howard.
true.
There's a lot of scissoring going on later that night.
You think?
Okay,
Slam
seriously,
bumpers.
Burning.
seriously, Joe, please. You're kidding, right? You are kidding.
What?
You are kidding.
Oh, thank
No.
you, Joe. Thank you, Joe.
Yeah.
I wanna feel the sun, have barbecues. I wanna see my friends, the old and new. We'll turn on the game and share some laughs. And we'll play this and that. And now let's say goodbye to rainy.
They all have the same dumb face, don't they? Like they all
Yes, they do.
have,
It's
like,
it's Ostrowski face.
Pittsburgh Kennedy face.
Pittsburgh Kennedy.
And I don't want to brag, but I'm friends with Lori Singer on Facebook.
There you go.
That really looks like a Targaryen. Not really. Not really.
She's what the kids call a basic bitch.
Jesus.
So
He's
that's
dropped,
you know,
Vaughn.
I had
He's
to drop
dropped.
in for that because
Oh, it's well worth it.
I'll
No,
have you
that
know
was,
you've done more than Fred's done the entire week. Those 2 drops are more than Fred will do for the entire week.
That was amazing.
Brutal. That was brutal. Seriously. Was that what
yeah.
she's doing? Like hanging around with like her friends down in
Mhm. That's what they call them,
Maryland.
friends.
She's in
Jake-
Maryland, right?
They call him
It's a cult.
Whatever, wherever she is, who cares? where she-
Fairfax, Virginia.
it's a total cult thing. You know,
Don't-
it's David Koresh. She's David Koresh, really.
Howard's David Koresh. Howard looks exactly like David Koresh.
Kinda is. Linda Ayers says anorexic father produces Blobkin in spandex with the capacity of Gary the Conqueror. It really pisses me off who has the money in this country. Hey, you know, somebody's got
When is
skills and
when is
talent.
Howard going to use a laser pointer on Emily?
That
Exactly.
was brutal, you guys. Seriously, how old is she?
40.
She's
38.
40.
She's younger than
She's
us.
like literally like almost 40 now.
No,
She's either 39 or 40. She's very close to 40.
I thought she was
Let's look
38. She
that
was
up.
born 84.
Be right
She's
back.
younger than us. Do you see her? Like, what is going on with her? She's just let herself go to shit. It's just
Well,
crazy.
When you have nothing to work for, that's what happens.
I would say that was more entertaining than Howard's show, though. And no irony. It actually is.
It was
I can't
more-
say that what he does is better than what she does.
Sing along with that show is just
Well, just
Yeah, whatever.
I'll ask that question. I'll ask because I made that I posted that post yesterday about Rob Zombie's new movie. Has Howard mentioned Rob Zombie?
No,
That Rob Zombie's coming in
In passing,
Munsters.
he mentioned it in passing. And that's it.
She's
he can't
39.
he can't even get Rob to come on to promote that hunk of
I don't think
crap
Rob
which got-
wants to admit that he made this movie. It's
He's too busy
bad.
calling the
It looks
cops on
horrible.
the skater park.
It's
by him.
awful.
Honestly, it looks horrible. It just looks like the worst piece of shit. I can't believe that somebody funded that and got that made. Honestly, there's nothing worse than that.
Yeah, the
Hence it's so
trailer
straight to
looked
video.
terrible. It looked really terrible.
I love the way Bon is here, so now he puts up all the Bon Jovial like comments as they go by.
Of course.
What would we do without you? Okay, then thank you, David. David says, for a song that had laughter as the main lyric, I never felt like crying more.
Does anybody Joe Neeson wants to know the origin of I Want to Feel the Sun. Do you want to explain the origin and how that
That goes back a long way. That goes back
Again.
to maybe 2000, the
It
first
goes
year,
back to
right?
PayPal Shed.
We actually have talked about this several times.
A bunch of times.
Yeah.
You just missed it.
Can we
It
just
was
Cliff
Beth's
note it?
mom's
Cliff note it.
Facebook.
Cliff note it.
Somebody from PayPal Shed did like a video downloader on Beth's mom's Facebook, and he friended her just to snoop around. And so Howard had submitted for Mother's Day, I believe, or anniversary. Was it their anniversary? A video that Howard shot frame for frame. All this took the pic in his photography stage.
He shot the photos. He made the iMovie.
It's a screensaver, man.
Background music.
Chose the music. Right.
Yeah, he did. He did.
I want to address Soldier 50 there. Hey, Soldier 50, tell that to Regis's kids or Kathy Lee's kids.
Yes.
That he sat there and brutalized for years on end. They're in the public eye.
Literally an obsession. I mean, literally, we haven't mentioned any of them in the longest time.
Yeah.
If it
She
makes you
puts
feel any
herself
better,
out
I like
there,
Emily
we'll
better than
mention it.
Howard. I'm Team Emily. I like it better than
Honestly,
Howard.
unless he mentions them, like he does with Ashley on the
Yes.
show, we haven't mentioned them at all. We very
Yeah,
rarely play Emily.
that's
music.
But it's not an obsession, but boy, he obsessed on other people's kids and really was kind of brutal.
Wasn't
Yeah, we don't
Cody?
wish to answer them.
Cody was
Wasn't
supposed to be a
Cody
drug
a
addict,
gay,
I thought.
gay
right?
drug addict?
Yes.
The kid
Drug
was like
addict. Yeah,
5?
I remember that.
That was
And the
a
flipper fit,
Literally the kid
and
was 5,
Regis's
bro.
flipper
Steven
foot
Spielberg's
son.
kids.
that
All
was
right,
a
all right.
criticism.
Let's stop talking over each other and let's go on.
I
to our
know.
next-
Wow.
Listen to
that
this,
was a
Ron. You're going to listen to this clip because this is the biggest lie he told of the day, and then everybody calls him out on it. So I have 2 clips of bullshit, and then 2 clips of people calling him out on the bullshit. So stay for these 4 clips so that you can
Well, they're
listen.
not really calling him out. That's rehearsed.
Well,
Is
interesting.
it
Okay.
Gary or someone calling him out?
It's Robin and Richard.
Oh, so it's
listen
a
to the
script.
clip.
It's
So
a
listen to the clip, and then you tell me what you think. Okay. Here we go.
Okay.
Used to invite kids over to smoke weed,
Lie.
at lunch break.
Lie.
We had modular scheduling. You could leave.
Said who?
Modular.
I fucked 2 girls at my house
Lie.
while my mom was out of the house. So it was a pretty major score for me. 2 different girls.
Sure.
So, I mean, I had some shit going on. It's great. And my sister was in college, so I had the house to myself.
Yes, I believe.
Yeah,
Used to
me
make
too.
whiskey sours.
Lie.
I come home, have a
I did
nice
that
whiskey
once.
sour,
Ronnie's
and then
City
smoke some weed and get right back to English class for the next period. They give you a lunch break. And I'm like, I'm going to have a liquid lunch. I'd have a whiskey sour and I'd smoke a joint and then go back to English class and take a snooze.
Lie, 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 lie.
All right, so this
Oh,
is
do
the
need a
same man.
buzzer. You're so right. Fuck.
This is the man that made up the thing that he had one girl in high school that he begged and begged and begged and begged and never he never had any other sex in high school, and now he's banging girls at lunch and smoking
Having
weed
liquid-
and going back to
Having
class.
liquid lunches.
Liquid lunches,
Whiskey sours.
whiskey sours. Yeah, all
How-
teenagers make
There is
whiskey
not a
sours.
single part of this conversation that I believe. Not a
None.
Here's what I
Zero.
believe. I believe that his sister was in college. So he had the
Well,
house.
he claimed that he banged the girl in college, and everybody was jealous of him. That was the only time I've ever heard him talk about that kind of. Remember,
He
said
did
the
have that
girl-
one girl in high school that
the hottest
cried.
chick.
She cried. That
No,
was-
I mean in college. He
But,
he
yeah.
said she was the hottest girl in college, and everyone was
Yeah,
jealous.
and then
which is-
he had no one.
But
in
I've never
college.
heard him talk about high school. I thought he always said he was alone.
Mhm.
Nobody
He was
talked
the
to him.
outcast. So yeah, so let's listen on to the
response?
response.
Your
But wait a
parents
minute.
never
Is
found
this
out?
in
Nope.
high school, Howard?
Yeah. Yeah, in a
But
nice
I thought
situation.
you didn't have any friends and nobody in the class talked to you. What? I don't
Weed,
understand.
you know what? These were kids who never paid attention to me, but when they
Right.
heard I had weed,
Right.
they actually came over.
Humana.
This guy came over. He was a very, yeah, he was a popular guy, jock and everything. He'd come over and we'd hang, because weed, that was a different. So I had like $5 worth of weed because I had a job at a plumbing supply house. So I was, I was sort of happy. And then I met some girls that from another, they didn't know me from high school. I was a loser there, but one came over and had sex with me. It was pretty cool.
What?
So he just that
Why?
that didn't make sense. What he just
That was
said.
a lie.
Well, his mom's inspecting his room 3 times a day, and now he's smoking pot, regardless of whether she's home or not. There's no way that stank's going away, and he's too lazy to make it go away.
Smoking
So
pot
she's
and having sex. Yeah,
And
you're
having
right. The
sex.
room's gonna look perfect when she got
Let's
home.
double down and listen to this gigantic fucking hummina that he does. Here we go.
Some girls that from another, they didn't know me from high school. I was a loser there, but one came over and had sex with me. It was pretty cool.
How did you get
But,
rid of the weed smell in the house? Like, so your parents?
Well, my mom wouldn't come home for hours. I'd smoke my bedroom window. I'd open it up and I'd hang my head. Like you'd see me, my head would be out the window, and I'd be smoking weed.
Yeah, that'll
And
work.
sometimes I'd smoke in the garage. I'd say to everyone, "Come on in the garage and we'll smoke."
In the garage. So you would smoke in an enclosed garage. So Ben would pull his car into this garage that now smelled like pot.
Right. Everybody used the garage at that time for their actual car.
Yeah.
In
What
those
did you
years.
do in the backyard? I mean, like,
He hung out the window. Like, like his whole
the smell
body.
doesn't leave. You're exactly right. It doesn't
No, it
leave.
stays
And
forever.
especially back in the 60s when they had a fucking dirt skunk weed. It
Right.
never left. Now you can at least vape and you don't smell anything or do an edible or whatever. But that shit does not go anywhere.
Josh
But,
Foster's calling him Howie Spicoli. That's so great.
both
That's
portrayals
facts.
yield different comedy. The repressed childhood ramps up his Woody Allen neuroses. The debauched childhood ramps up the John Belushi raunchy comedy. And none of it is true, though, guys.
All fake. All fake. 100%.
Right?
112.
Is he smoking? Has he ever talked? Did he smoke bongs or spliffs?
No, he's supposed to. He rolled joints.
Yeah,
we
spliff,
call.
right?
Yeah.
I have no idea what that means. He rolled joints allegedly.
Okay, listen to this one. Here's another lie.
in
Here's
America?
another delicious lie. Here we go.
So then she'd be home. Then my friends would come over, and we had you had to take your Quaaludes upstairs in my bedroom, and you couldn't smoke, and then we'd just go out in the backyard and sleep. After my mom made us a sandwich. My friends would come over, we drop Quaaludes, then we talk to her at the table, and we'd start to get sleepy. She'd make like an egg salad sandwich, and then we go out in the backyard. We had a big chaise lounge, and we'd all pass up. My mom goes, "That's good, you're napping."
Yeah.
Okay.
Help me here. Help me here.
I can't.
He's not even
honestly,
trying
it's
to make this shit
bullshit.
believable.
It's such bullshit. I can't.
Yeah, Azos. Now, where would you?
I was
get
thinking the
that?
same thing.
Quaaludes. Like you'd need a prescription, right? Like, what
I
is?
mean, they're dealers, but I mean, this is 69.
Listen, I get that lewds were like a big thing in the 60s, but I don't believe for a second that this Nerdlestein 16-year-old, 15,
Yeah.
16, 17-year-old had any access to anything, honestly.
No.
At least he got
With a
that
mom-
part right, though. He took the Quaaludes and they lay in the backyard rather than in the garage. That's better.
They were on a
He's-
chaise lounge, a chaise
Chaise lounges.
chaise lounge, a chaise lounge.
I can't wrap my head around this lie. It's so.
Right, he's
so
implementing himself
over
in
the
any
top.
kind of drug transaction too during these years. You really see
Oh, could you
him
imagine him?
scoring
Could you imagine
anything.
Gunk?
No, I can't.
Could you imagine
Absolutely
Gunk
not.
trying to pass off cash?
Not even close.
Today's Stern show is particularly grating. I'm getting noticeably frustrated listening to this. I know it was driving me
Do
insane.
it live. Do it live. Do it live when you're half asleep. It's great.
Jesus Christ, it's just horrible. It's horrible.
Waking up to the you're waking up to this with this, irritating. I don't know if it gives you energy or just makes you want to kill yourself.
No, it makes me
gives you this-
angry.
Was
I'm
this the
super
first?
angry.
Was this the first hour? He usually does this crap in the first
Oh,
hour.
he always does
yeah?
this
Oh, no,
shit
it's whole
in the first
show.
hour. I have a couple of
Whole-
things from the second and the third, but not much. But yeah,
What I do is I think about the $4,000 a minute he gets for this. That's what
Hey-
really
hey, Mo.
grates on me.
yeah, babe.
Hey Mo, I heard his friend had a big penis.
This is the worst clip of the day, I
Is it
think.
coming?
Oh no, not this.
I don't even know how to.
You can't set it up. You
I
just
can't
can't.
set it up. Yeah,
No.
okay.
Tiger Lily, is it a good time to go to the bathroom?
This is
This
just
made it a
really
little dramatic.
horrible. It really is. It's just horrible. I mean, it's just stupidity. Honestly, it's just what it is. Listen.
I had one friend growing up when I was a little kid wanted me to jerk him off.
So this is coming off of the other jerk off conversation from earlier in the show. This is like 2 hours later, hour and a half.
Doesn't
later.
Gary have this story as well? John, is that right?
all
Gary has
have
the
jerk-off
jerk off.
They all have jerk off. To get on the air, your friend has to jerk you off. You have to lose weight or gain weight. You have to have some gay experience. It's the way to get on the air. You have to have these things in order to present to the closeted
take a
boss to
chubby
put you on the
pickle.
air.
Yes.
Exactly.
And I was like, dude, I don't know. He was naked. He's sitting there with his boner. Must have been about 8 years old.
Okay, 8 years old. 9
Eight?
years old. This is he qualifies it with 9. But his friend is sitting there naked with his boner. Okay.
Monique, I'm with K-Tate. I gotta know the writing. I gotta know the preparation process for this. You gotta have a follow up with Brent. You gotta have a follow up with Brent. I gotta know. Don't assume that. Don't assume that. You gotta have a follow up with Brent. I want to ask about this repartee.
Listen to the rest of the story.
Or 9 years old, 10 years old. And it was before you could come. Like, you'd heard about it, but you didn't really know how to do it. He pulls his
But
pants
it wasn't
down.
an immediate no. You thought about it.
Well, I was just like, is this something I should be involved in? I see this. And the dude had a big cock. At least
there you go.
Okay, right?
It looked big, a lot bigger than mine. He wanted me. I remember what he wanted me to do. He wanted me to like rub it between my hands like a hot dog and go like this. He told me.
Who rubs a hot dog?
Okay.
That wouldn't work. That's not how. Why?
I've never heard of people rubbing hot dogs.
How about thinking about
I'm
the fact
so
that your
confused.
9-year-old friend had a big cock? This dude had a big cock. This dude.
And the fact that there was hesitation, allegedly.
John.
Xavier, did you listen to the show? Or did you just predict he was going to
Oh,
say
dude,
that?
no, I was too busy punching myself in the face.
Oh, so you
Make
didn't even
myself
hear.
happier.
You just predicted he was going to say exactly that. Did I hear things, or you did predict that exact follow up was going to happen?
Well, the clock
Yeah,
is,
well,
you
come
know,
on.
right.
I know. Still pretty
Exactly.
impressive.
Yeah.
I know. That's his
I'm not
go-to
like a
still.
Wig
Yeah,
Sadamus.
in the
It's like
chat,
a-
the whole thing, the hot dog thing. I mean, I couldn't comprehend what the hell that actually meant.
Yeah, what the hell? I mean, rubbing a
I-
hot dog, don't people like just put a hot dog in boiling water?
You
Who the
don't
fuck-
do that to a hot dog, Monique.
Who
No.
rubs a hot dog? Seriously.
That's what nobody does this.
Nobody
Nobody-
rubs a hot dog like that. No.
Nobody rubs a hot dog.
And no person jerks somebody off like this either.
I don't know what you do. Ow! That hurts
kinda
just
like a
looking
Dutch
at
rub.
that.
Gotta hurt. That's gotta hurt. That's
Oh
like
my God, that
station
looks like
nobody
hurt.
needs.
Oh my God.
Remember, he cleared this day out so he could do this. We don't have a guest. This is very important. We go to
This
this.
is
John,
This is
John,
planned.
let me talk to John. What you just said like a minute ago. I think this comes through in an email tied. Gary
Yes.
might be the one, or well, Jeremy Coleman probably is the one who get all that
Jeremy
people like
spoke.
Brent all send through their little. You're going to talk about
I'm a
rubbing the
sucker
hot
for a
dog,
Jeremy Coleman reference, Bond.
and
Thank
then
you very much.
Jeremy puts them all together in email, sends them to Howard the
Yes.
night before, and then Howard
Yep.
just has little paragraphs, I think, each paragraph, and he can just go through them. And
He's riffing.
Howard would add that to that hot dog bit that the wrong way. You know, Howard.
I
just-
agree 100%. with
It's
you-
an
what you just
old
said.
man
All right.
just looking
Yes.
at a
Azores-
notes and
Azores poses
Absolutely.
the question. No, that was a little
Oh,
down.
okay.
oh, they want
Gotcha.
more of Monique doing that. Go on, give him a bit more, Mon.
And
Oh, I wish I had
and
somebody
Bond
easier to
and
do it
Bond, I
with.
will go as far to say that he
At least some
doesn't
people are
even
lifelike.
that Marcy and
Yeah,
Jeremy
that's
are the
much
only
more
one allowed
lifelike.
to have his email.
This
Oh
is
my
much more
God.
lifelike, right?
I'll make it pop. Make it pop.
Okay.
Ah!
You're gonna run your computer.
Hold on.
This is gonna go into the opening credits like tomorrow.
Will she swallow?
You did?
She swallowed. Wow.
Yeah. Watch, but by the time you get to Christmas break, this story will be, well, I was slapping a hot dog with my face, like everybody
Exactly.
does.
Yeah.
It'll-
His
it'll-
father
it'll-
Ben took one of those 3 Nathan's hot dogs. he received
Yes,
on his
yes, he's
fucking
gonna incorporate
birthday
Nathan's into
anniversary and use it for that.
payola plug.
Water, silly. It's water.
Wow, that Howard Stern, he
was
sure is one wacky fella.
Yeah. I'm gonna switch. I'm gonna.
So wait, so what was the finale to his friend had a gigantic pecker?
He just said, no, there's no fucking way I'm doing this to you. That was
8 years old.
There was
8 years old.
hesitation. There's hesitation. Where most normal 8-year-olds would have run out screaming.
Who is sitting with their other naked friends in a room?
Pat McAfee, Barstool
closeted
Sports.
people. I don't know.
This is an old man remembering a molestation by a friend who's clearly an abuse victim. Hilarious.
Yeah, it's.
Oh my
He
God,
really
you're
gets
so
punched up.
right.
Waka waka.
You know
and
what?
there must be sorry, go on.
No, I just want to say hypersexualized kids when you're a kid are usually victims of abuse. That's
Right.
1000% true. Hypersexualized kids are that.
100%.
That is.
I mean, the worst case scenario for most people is you go over to that one dude's house whose father has that classy porn on the coffee table, like Jet or some shit like that.
Magazine.
You know,
Beanie
like
Mac
that.
style.
What was that? There was an offshoot of Penthouse where it was just like the smaller, almost like a Pulp Fiction.
Yeah, I remember that.
Oh, yeah, what was it called?
Yeah. It was Jet. I think it was Jet.
Was it
Jet
Jet?
magazine,
Is that
the black
okay,
magazine.
Oh, I thought Jet was a black magazine.
It is. It
Thank
is.
you.
It was something.
It was like
oh,
Reader's Digest size.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
but this is disturbing because, like John was saying, this is Howard sending out that request from the writers. Please write me teen and preteen stories about masturbation and sex, so I can
Be
riff with
brave.
that. Please write paragraphs of them for me,
And kind of
to have
conflate it with
in the
what you
can.
know about my childhood. And,
In real life, in real life,
Cherry, Melvin says.
in real life, if a friend did that to you, there's no way in hell you wouldn't tell the school the next day, and that kid would be ostracized.
Yeah, it's true. It's very
You
true.
would 1000%. Hey, dude, guess what happened yesterday? You would say, little Johnny, flung his pecker at me, and everybody would just like, that would be it. That would be a wrap for that kid.
The problem is he doesn't know what school he went to. Is it
no
Rockville
idea where
Center?
he's
Is it
going at the
Roosevelt
time.
this week? Who can corroborate this? Nobody can.
Of course not, because it didn't happen. But
Right. There's no
Howard's,
corroboration.
little fucking fantasies about little kids' wieners is just fucking. He thinks that's entertainment.
But is Howard?
Wow.
Is Howard going? Is Howard doing his political talk still? Are we getting half an hour of that a day as well?
Oh,
No, hopefully it's going away.
Yeah.
Or is that
Going away,
faded?
thank God.
Really? Why is that?
He
That's
can't
strange.
because he needs to avoid current events. So he can
But-
pre-tape the show. You're
but
not
I
going
think
to
you're
know.
100%
You can't
right.
timestamp it.
But the last 2 years, he's been doing 45 minutes on COVID and
Right,
the
but it's
politics
stale.
of that.
It's cold
Because it's
Chinese
lazy
food.
radio.
Yeah, it's like
Lazy
2 weeks
radio.
after the
Literally, you
story.
click open a tab and just go, "Oh, this is what's going
But
on."
for those reasons, he should be continuing with it. Like,
Right.
that's the way he is. He
No,
never
even
stops.
but his Hollywood friends don't really talk about it much anymore, so he's not going to harp on it. It's try to make his new friends like him better. That's
Tiger
not
Lily
working.
says every one of my the big comedian podcasts I listen to have all told stories about jerking off with friends in their childhood. Maybe comedians are all fucked up. Yeah, but that would
They
be
also
you're giving Howard more credit than he deserves. Number one, he's not a
Exactly.
comedian, and number two, I guess like the jerk off stories are fun, maybe 2-3 times. But we're talking about a man who's been on radio now for 40 years, and so we're kind of over the jerk off stories.
Monique,
Well, I
can we
need
go over
to-
the word fabulist on here? I learned a new word from the Depp trial from the lawyers called fabulist. It's someone who makes up fantastical stories where they're always at the heart of it, and it's always stuff like this.
Fabulist.
Howard, fabulist, yes.
I've
Fabulous.
never heard of it. That's
And
a new one for
this
me.
is what these comedians, Tiger Lily listens to a lot of Bert Kreischer and these guys who make up these, they're always the heart of every, Artie does this. They're the heart of every crazy story and they're jerking off. And Howard.
Thanks, nerds. Thanks, nerds.
What Zuma Show says, I think Howard is angry that serious management and Hollywood stars don't care about him, so he's doing these horrible, dead, and irrelevant shows on purpose. No way he can think these shows are good. No, but if you listen to when Brent had called in and we talked to him about this, He said that he literally just talks to like Marcy and
Yes,
Jeremy,
he's insulated from all criticism.
basically blows smoke up his ass. That's why there's no more comments on Twitter or anything like that. Let's talk about how busy he is and how he really doesn't have Thursday and Friday off. He only looks forward to Saturdays because that's really his only free day.
I went over on a Saturday. I used to love Saturdays. Saturday was my day. I don't do any radio work. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we're on the radio. Thursday and Friday, I'm in meetings wall to wall about the radio show. So I really didn't have any free time. I went over on Saturday.
You imagine?
Wall to
Audacity.
wall. I love that wording, wall to wall. It's
Wall to
so
wall. He works till
couldn't be
10:30.
further from the truth.
He
with
has
that
an
line.
entire day at 10:30.
Well, it's all it comes through, like we were talking about before. It's just the emails from Jeremy before he goes to bed with paragraphs of stuff that he has to say. That's all he has to do.
The thing is, though, it totally contradicts everything he always talks about. All the painting he does, all the he finds music from 50 years ago that's new to him. It totally contradicts that entire. He has nothing to do.
How about the 14 hours of
Thursday and
Fruit
Friday.
Basket TV, Dennis?
Yes,
And the
exactly.
fountain
On
pens. He's
TiVo.
buying
Fountain
Mont
pen,
Blanc,
right.
fucking $1,000 pens.
The
I love
YouTube
this stuff. I
videos,
love it.
The
I
YouTube
absolutely love it.
videos that he watches
let's-
for hours.
Talk a little bit about how he's deprived of love and how he's always searching for this in his life. I know it's so pathetic. It really is. This is like
You should invest in love.
I love women. And you know what? It's really, for me, not about being with a woman for pussy. For me, it's about
Oh my
having a
God.
connection with a human being. For real. I mean, I am desperate. I am so deprived of any kind of humanity that when a woman would even look at me and be kind to me. I told my mother this weekend, she goes, that Beth, you did a smart thing bringing her into the family. She's so wonderful. I said, Mom,
Bullshit.
how'd I get so lucky to have such a beautiful woman in my life
Investment.
who loves me so much? How'd I get so lucky?
Well, his mum might be right there. Beth
Do you
might
know how much
talk
money
to
I
his
have
mum a
invested
lot,
in you?
you know?
Do you know how much money I have invested in you?
All right, so this is a full-on bullshit story. There is literally not an ounce that's true. I'm sorry.
But what even needs to be true about it?
Exactly.
Nothing. It's just blowing
trying to-
smoke off Beth's ass. That's
Yeah.
all it
This
is.
is
This is
the,
damage control.
Yeah, totally.
This is
Can I
damage
just
control for
follow
the
up with it
investment.
because it's really quite delicious. Yeah, let's just listen to this one, then we can talk about both of them.
Thank you, Gina.
But I did
Absolutely
spend a
right.
lot of time chasing love, or it's just having someone by my side.
How much time did you exactly spend chasing love? You met Allison when you were 19. It was your second year in college. You married her before you were even like getting out of college,
Right.
and you were single allegedly for less than a year. So
So
how
you're
did
seeing, and you saw Beth when you were still married in '97. So when were you single?
searching for love? Here we go.
Just
Well,
to
that's
feel
why I
like
knew
somebody
that
was
whole
interested.
Single period was not going to work for you.
No, I thought it would. But Robin was right.
He thought he was going to have a great time.
When I was single, I was in such a panic. I had to go out and meet someone so that I wouldn't sleep alone. I'm a very
Yeah.
love-starved man.
Okay.
Well, all right. So theoretically, he could not be lying because when he wasn't married to the investment, he was single. So technically, he's kind of correct-ish, sorta.
But didn't he fuck up the math the other day when he said, "I've been with you for X amount of years"?
25
Yeah,
I did
it was
the math, and clearly
1997.
he was still married.
Yes. But
Yes.
he wasn't. But there was a time when he wasn't married and he was with the investment, so he was technically single. Technically.
I'm with the Nubian Queen, Crazy Robin again. This is the Rog Hudson facade he's putting up too. This is how
Right on.
Nice.
he geared it
Great
up.
callback.
Absolutely. I
Great
think
callback.
that you
I don't
can't.
even know what to say about it.
Beth is what a homosexual doing an impression of a heterosexual's idea of what a shiksa is. So it's the blonde. It's all Jenna Jameson, Pam Anderson. This is what I believe heterosexual
insult
men
them.
like.
Yeah.
Insult who?
Talent.
Right on.
Because since he's sort of like a sociopath, he doesn't really know what a real life is. So he just pretends to have a
Right.
life,
Impersonate
And-
a real life.
pretends to impersonate caring about loving somebody else, when in reality, he doesn't care. All right, I need to
think-
put the show on because we
I
still
think
have
what he meant to say
Savior.
is that was a period before the 30-day warranty expired on the return for Beth.
The return policy was up. Exactly.
Exactly.
It's like a washing machine. It works so perfectly for the
God
first
damn it.
It just goes
I
straight
should have got the extended warranty.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So,
that's
okay,
a
so
broken investment.
let's switch over to JD just for 2 seconds,
Oh,
okay?
yes.
So weirdly, they bring JD on so he could talk about his baseball card collection. And apparently he thinks that it's worth more than it is, but it's like a big collection. Apparently he has over 10,000 cards at this point, and he just keeps buying them. I can't even imagine that he's still with Tanko. I know there's been a lot of rumors about whether or not they're still together, but how would we know? You know, she basically took herself out of the social media aspect of things because how much RadioGunk.com in the forum section was fucking with her. And I got at least 4 or 5 emails from her about, dude, you got to fucking stop this. You're killing me with my
And that's
family.
fair enough. That was getting pretty bad for a
It's
girl who
totally-
doesn't want to be involved in it. Like
Yeah, but you
Caitlyn
know what?
wants to be
put-
She
involved
doesn't
in
want
it.
the fame though.
She
She
wanted
put
to be
herself-
famous, but she didn't want the fame.
That's
Right.
right.
I want all the perks and none of the
All the
downsides
perks, but
comes
none
with
of
it.
the drawbacks.
And none of the work, to be quite honest
Yeah,
with
none
you.
of the work
But
either.
she would immediately start being a personal trainer, and all these people would flock to her, and it didn't happen. So now I think she does whatever she does. They moved out of the city, right? And so now she's just doing
Wow.
something as a private citizen. So she is
Good for her.
completely off of the social media grid, and so
JD,
like Stuttering John, it's like if you forget about them, they go away. And that's what happened to Tanko. So she could very well still be with him. To be honest with you, who gives a shit? I mean, really,
Not I.
Who cares?
I just find it fascinating that JD, that they can't have any truth at all on this show. That if JD got divorced, at least it's a truth. It's something that's real.
I wanna
agree,
know.
but I'm
I wanna
also
know.
with
We
Monique.
can't.
I never wanted to hear him in the first place. I didn't ask for him. I would
Right.
rather have Big Black doing this.
I
who
don't like him
invented that
anyway,
job.
so-
No
So
need to
I'm
have
not going to
JD
care about his
Marmots.
relationship if I don't want him on the air. I never wanted him.
We don't
I
care
never
about
wanted Brian.
Manette with his wife now. You know what? We don't care. So it's
Yeah.
okay for him to be with her or not be with her. Either way, I don't give a shit. Radio Gaga says he definitely isn't with her. Howard interrupted. Yes, I have that call. I'm going to play it in 1 second. I just thought that a couple of the things that he was talking about with JD were kind of weird. So let's just play a couple of those and then we'll come back to it. I don't know why I can't get rid of my comments here. Okay, here we go.
There's a childish aspect to it. I also see it as there's a part of it that's it is as ridiculous as people can think this sounds. They are can be a piece of art in a way. So that's how I see it.
I just think there's a worship of these big, strong guys that it's just odd.
Okay, so he considers these baseball cards works of art. And I don't understand it. I don't understand it at all. And he tried to sell a couple of cards, and the dealers, I guess, at this card convention he went to weren't really buying them for what he thought they were worth. So,
So, all right, my friend actually is a card dealer. He does very well. But he's,
God, really?
Yeah, no, he actually does really well.
Bob's
He's
like,
a card
really?
dealer, though, not a JD.
Right.
So JD, first of all, Howard has no comprehension that these things are very valuable. I mean, there's cards that easily sell for $300-400 all day long.
Really?
But yeah, oh, absolutely. My friend made $800 in 50 minutes doing like online auctions. Literally, it was like, wow. So, but JD is so incompetent at everything he does. He goes and he tries to sell cards at a show to dealers.
Right.
You never get retail when you sell to a dealer, no matter what it
Exactly.
is. I mean, it's just absolutely hilarious.
Like Xavier knew this guy who collected Beanie Babies who thought that at some point
yeah.
they were going to
Whoops.
be like really worth like millions of dollars, and it was like a collection, and that's kind of what JD's doing. So JD's not putting his money into things that are actually tangible units of investment property.
He's kind of an idiot.
Well,
It's kind of an
What do you
kinda
mean
doing
this Pascual Perez isn't worth $50,000?
He's doing
gotta
he's
be
doing a
right.
shotgun approach to cards, which doesn't work.
Which
Because
is
you have
what
to be very you have to be very selective on what you do, because if you find the right mix of cards, you could sell a card here for $50, $75. Then you get a card that's worth a few hundred. And honestly, you can No, the card market's actually doing very well. I was told.
Yeah, there's some shit that's always gonna
my friend
sell.
is actually making a living doing this. But the way JD explained it and the way he's going about it is absolutely the most insane thing ever. It really is.
What was the setup for this? How did they segue to his
They
baseball
just
on this awful
brought it
show?
up.
One.
How
Yeah,
did
they
they
just
even-
brought it up.
Yeah,
Who just
JD
brought it up?
wanted to talk about your baseball card collection, and then of course, Howard tries to fartherly school him about what the fuck you're doing with your
absolutely.
money. Why would you do that? But this was pretty funny when we heard
Out of
it.
the 10,000 cards you own, which player is the most handsome?
Oh my
Yeah, the one you
God.
love to look at. Maybe you look at it and imagine
Oh my God.
he's your friend, or he's
You keep
who
it
the one-
close by.
right, that you enjoy
Travis
looking at
Kelce?
him. Who do you like
No,
looking
not
at?
Travis Kelsey.
Oh God, Richard.
No,
This is
it's
so.
not that I find them handsome. It's just they're players I admire.
Oof.
Hey, who
Wow.
needs Mad Dog Radio when you have the Stern Show? This is my sports talk for
So-
the day.
All 112% heterosexual men always look for the most handsome cards because that's the ones that are worth the
it's
most.
so bad.
That handsome men on them.
Ugh.
I know the punchline.
Sarah making a cameo.
Paid $360 in March 20 for a card that now sells for $1,500 on eBay.
Yeah,
Ooga.
it's there. If you know what you're doing, you can
When
make
it-
money. JD doesn't.
But for 99% of people, if you collect something, you have to collect it because you like it.
Because you like
If you
Right.
think you're gonna turn a fucking profit on it, you're gonna be disappointed more times than not.
Exactly. Unless you're
Yeah,
a dealer.
Tim Sullivan, Lenny Dykstra, pre-meth.
Exactly.
With all his
UL,
teeth?
UL Washington with the toothpick.
Okay, so here's the clip that you guys were talking about in the chat, which was Howard basically avoiding the JD conversation. First off, this caller, Kat, who has called in
Fake caller.
before.
Yes.
The bizarre thing about it is that even her setup sounded like a bunch of bullshit. So it was just
Right.
it was bullshit all day. It was just bullshit 24/7 today. So here's her call, and here's how she sneaks that in.
A cat. You're on the air in Texas.
Hey, JD, thanks, Howard. Thanks for taking my call. What does your wife think about this? Because my husband collects baseball cards. I mean, we're 41 years old, and I swear to God, I'm so organized. I get just, it drives me fucking crazy.
What drives you crazy, Kat? You're so organized. What's exactly driving you crazy? Hold on.
Does she ever complain?
Well,
does
what
she say
about
it?
Kat? What about your husband's cards?
Yeah, he didn't want to talk about the wife, but what does
tank.
being organized have to do with collecting?
So what part of Texas is Kat from? Bay Ridge, Texas, or I mean Bensonhurst, Texas? Because
Yeah.
I'm sorry,
She's from
I'm
Jersey
from
City, Texas.
Buckball, Texas.
I mean,
Horrible.
come
I
on.
didn't hear that Samantha on the air. Do they have any similar pipes there?
No,
is she
Samantha's
putting on a very
definitely like
bad
a Gunk
Texas accent?
Trump and some other
Yeah.
people. She has a little bit of a deeper tone to her voice, and she works
Kat
for
is
the
Kat's a repeat caller.
Yeah.
Or, I'm sorry. Actor.
Staten Island, Texas. Exactly.
Staten Island, Texas.
So my clips basically wrap up with discussion about Jimmy Kimmel. And so now Jimmy is in New York this week, right? So he's doing these Brooklyn shows.
Yes, that Brooklyn show.
And it's kind of weird how Howard portrays it, but apparently he's having Dave Letterman on sometime this week. And so Howard started talking about him and Dave being Jimmy's heroes.
Yeah,
And it just became like a really weird conversation. So here we go.
Funny woman.
Yes.
I was talking about Amy Schumer's
Then he's
video.
got David Letterman, which is a
big
home run.
get.
Big get
Yeah.
for Jimmy. Jimmy comes when he hears the name David Letterman. He comes in his pants.
I think he's the only person Jimmy loves above you.
Yeah. Like Jimmy worships me and David Letterman. But I give Jimmy access. Letterman doesn't. I go on vacation with Jimmy.
Yeah.
Jimmy gets to be with his hero when he's with me.
I know.
Wow.
I was
First of all,
like, what the fuck?
so
Dude.
first of all, is Letterman really a big guest anymore?
I'm with you,
No,
Dennis,
not
and Shellback's Club stole my thunder. He's
There's
so
some
fucking overrated. I can't even. The more I think about it, the more the worship on him, how mediocre he became towards the end. He wasn't even getting 1 million viewers by the end.
No,
And that
no.
worldwide pants and that
It's like
intern
Howard.
fucking
He was just
PA
phoning
scandal.
it in. He
I'm
didn't give a
so
shit about
tired
the
of him.
show anymore. He
He
didn't
was
care.
so exactly. He was so fucking laissez-faire. And it's just like, okay, just Dave, quit. You don't want to be there. We're burdening you. Don't do the shit. Quit. Don't do it. Don't just quit.
Yeah,
And
and you're right. Howard was very jealous. Like, so there was this
Yeah.
weird conversation.
so
The
tired of
next
him.
clip is basically about how Jimmy Kimmel invited him and Beth out since they're going to be in the city for the week. And Howard's like, yeah, no fucking way. I'm actually going out to dinner with you guys. So listen to this.
And Jimmy and Molly invited us to go to a restaurant in Manhattan. I go, dude, I haven't left my house. If I'm going to transition to get out of this whole COVID thing, I'm not going to a Manhattan restaurant indoors. My wife's really bummed out. So I said, why don't you tell them, come to our apartment and have
Well,
dinner.
that's exactly what we want to
I'll
do.
meet him in the city, but I don't want to go to an indoor restaurant with COVID.
Yeah, it's exactly what Jimmy wants to do. He's in the city for 5 days. That's all he's got. And he wants to come sit in your house with just you and your wife and have food ordered up from Nobu. I mean,
Yes.
are you fucking kidding me? But I guess that's what you get when you get access to Howard, right? This is what you
Jesus
get when
Christ,
you
what a
can,
miserable.
come in your pants because you're going to go have dinner with Howard because you worship him so much and he's your god. So why the fuck wouldn't you do that? I can
And
almost
everybody else picked.
Jimmy's going to be.
Hey Mo,
Yeah.
check out the shared picture. Go to show you. This is where Jimmy his real friends are. This is like a couple of days ago.
Is that the Bob Saget
Yeah, but look,
tribute?
notice that Mandel's there.
Yeah,
That's the
John
real
Mayer.
high.
That's when I think of comedy. I think of John Mayer.
Chappelle,
Especially.
he like. So that's who
who's hanging
Jimmy's
with.
really hanging out with.
Yeah.
I was just delusional at this point.
Well, because they all live close by. These are the cool kids of the non-Hamptons. That's like that's
Yes.
like Jimmy's home gang. But I can almost guarantee you Jimmy's going to call in this week and he's going to say, you never responded to Beth when she asked if you guys want to come to my house. And then Jimmy will be put on the spot and he'll be like, yeah, I'll come to your house. You want to do it tonight? You want to do it tomorrow? And then Howard will be like, well, it's too late. I can't get there, and I can't leave my house now. So he'll make up any sort of excuse, and that will be the end of that. Just really, it's so stupid. Here, last one on Jimmy.
With COVID, we didn't hear back from him.
Oh,
So you see what happened in the old days. If Jimmy heard he could be with me, 1, 2, 3, he'd get right back to me. Now I'm a schmuck.
You are.
Letterman doesn't let Jimmy in his house. Letterman's like, fuck you, Jimmy. Who wants to hang out with you?
So
weird. I mean,
in the previous clip, though, let me point this out. He in the chat picked up on it. The word transition. I mean, to use the word transitioning, it's just kind of an odd.
I think he
it's an
has
odd
something on
word
his
to
mind.
use.
Yeah.
It
That's
did.
an
Yeah,
odd
it didn't really
word.
fit in that sense. It seemed right. It seemed
No.
like very forced.
I
A
think
word
that
nobody
he
would
feels
use
like
in that.
he's going to transition back into the city, a place where he probably hasn't been for 3 years. Now, I'll be honest with you. When I still had my New York apartment and I had not been there for a while. I had a girlfriend basically sleeping there, taking care of the plants, whatever. And it was just really weird to come back into the city. And okay, yes, transition is a weird word, but it is kind of
Strange, weird.
it's a transition to come back to fucking noise and crowds and people, especially after you've been out of it for a little while. It was a very weird thing to come back into the city and actually live there again. I felt a little out of place, not gonna lie.
But it wasn't about.
I'd get better conversation from the android.
But it wasn't. But it wasn't about living there. It was about just going to go have dinner. That's a really freaking weird
but that
word.
necessitates actually doing something he hasn't wanted to do, which is get in a car, come to the city, stay for a few days, acclimate himself back into being in New York and figuring out his fucking life there.
Do you think Howard's
such a silly
subjected
question.
to?
She's too stupid for me and my friends. She wouldn't.
There's no
fit in.
way
Not fucking
he's giving
funny.
up his
And I
home
would never have her
office.
as part of my crew. What?
There's no way he's giving up his home office.
No, of course he's
Exactly.
not. Of course he's not.
Zero.
So he's avoiding people now. He is Howard Hughes. He's avoiding people.
Howard Hughes without the brains.
But this
Yeah.
was his
Hughes was
plan, and
brilliant.
this was his goal, and this was his dream all along. He couldn't wait for this day. The day COVID hit, he had this the wheels started spinning. He's like, I'm never going back. And you could hear the ebullience in his voice when COVID. He loved every second of it. There was never a time I ever
I do
thought
not
he
have the coronavirus.
And Monique, even if you went back, do you think he's subjected to the same civilian ramshackle that you are? He doesn't hear no. He doesn't have to hear any. He doesn't have to do
No, the
anything or
higher
hear
you are, the
anything or
more
see
noise you hear. But I'm sure he has like triple paned windows where he doesn't hear shit. But I'm telling you, my apartment before I moved into my last apartment was on the one you came to, John.
Yes, which I thought was as good as an apartment as that size gets. And your husband saw my first bout of acrophobia when I looked out the window. I did not know I had it until I went to your beautiful view, and I really got sick. I couldn't. I'm afraid of heights. I truly am, and I realized it that day.
How many years ago is that already?
This
Jesus
is now 5 years ago.
No, more.
Greg Kinnear said to me, he's like, "Oh, scared of heights, huh?"
Yeah, but the weirdest thing about it was there was a point to my story. I had never lived that high, and I had no idea that that I would hear that much fucking noise. And those were like triple paned windows. So there's no way Howard's apartment doesn't get some fucking noise. I mean, I've seen their windows. They're like standard 90s windows. So there's no way he doesn't hear it. I think it's just a weird acclamation. I had no idea it would be that fucking noisy. Seriously. It was worse there than it was when I lived on like the second floor in a building.
G Canada goes, "You let Arm into your house?" Yeah, G Canada. I was tempted to steal her frozen bolognese sauce, which I saw. It had carrots in it.
It was a mirror.
Bolognese, it usually does.
It's a miracle.
I wanted to take her expensive towels, but
I'll roll them up and snap you with them, Dennis.
Those Portuguese towels.
Yeah, and then me and Johnny went out for lunch, and
That was a fun day. We saw Carson Kressley at the diner.
Yeah, I forgot all about that. That was pretty fun. That was a fun day. All right. Anyway.
I want to feel the sun.
Oh, that was so Boys in the Ham. It was.
I'm
it was Doug Ostrowski
there right now.
Oh.
All right, so that's it for my clips for today.
All right,
Johnny, of course, after I told him 17 times not to send any clips.
And we're done.
You don't have to play them tomorrow. You don't have to go because I'm just sending. I wanted to send them to send
There's
them.
some Simon
and
Cowell
save them.
stuff, and there's a
the computer.
Don't feel pressure. You have to play them because I sent them. You can play them tomorrow. I don't care.
okay, but
I
you
just
have some
wanted to-
video components, and which is the one? What is this?
Well,
one?
they're all linked together because I had heard Cookie and Dennis were talking about Simon Cowell today. I think he brought up Cowell, and
Why
so
does Opie look like Hitler?
Yes, I think you should save these because it's in context with it's a progression of him talking about Simon Cowell, and then he talks about how he would never kill anybody's job or go behind their back. And
Okay, so I'll keep this together, and we will save it for tomorrow.
I want to feel
let me
the
just get this
sun.
straight. They did talk about Simon. He did talk. He did the Simon Cowell thing again today.
I didn't hear it.
Dennis,
I was prepping for a hurricane.
Okay.
I wanna feel the sun, have barbecues. I wanna see my friends, the old and new. We'll turn on the game and share some laughs. And we'll play this and that. And now we'll say goodbye to rainy days, to the cold.
Jesus Christ.
you thought Emily's music. That's Howard's favorite music when left to his own devices.
Oh, it's so
I
gay.
believe that's what he listens to.
He's
Bathhouse,
as basic
coffee
as
house.
Beth is. That's why they get along.
Yes.
Yeah. Zuma show. I met Simon Cowell in Malibu recently and played him my original song. He liked it and gave me his cell phone number. He's really nice.
I believe that, Zuma. I
That's
believe
cool.
he's a really nice guy.
That's really, really cool. All right. So
Well, is he single now? So
how do we want to wrap up this show tonight, guys?
I want to feel the sun.
I would play that out. I would almost. I don't know how you don't.
play us out.
I got a ding last time.
Barbecue.
Oh darn.
just a little bit, and I got a little
we
ding.
could just say,
Is there a
good
guest
night.
tomorrow?
Tomorrow, probably not.
No.
What's the deal with Adam Levine, guys? What's up with what we talk about the cheating?
I don't think he's
and
going to be
the-
on now
Is
because
he going to
he's
cancel?
kinda- No, he
Was
just
he supposed to be on?
He's supposed to. Remember,
Yeah, he's supposed to be
he
on,
came
but,
back
you
and he
know.
said they gave the birthday bash list of the
Oh,
retread guests, and he was
so
on.
he was
because he was texting
cheating.
with a girl who was like 17 or 18, and she basically knew exactly who the fuck Adam Levine was, and so never said to him, "I'm 17 or 18," and knows that he's married, and just kind of had to make sure that the time was right to reveal to the world that this guy fucking texted with her. Women can be fucking sea monkeys too. Seriously.
No, really?
It's so vindictive. Like, I just don't really understand it. And not that I'm like Team Adam on this at all.
Right.
I just think that it's just so weird how chicks would come out of the fucking woodwork. People slide into people's DMs all the time. You have every choice in the world to say, I'm not going to indulge this, or I am. Period.
And by the way, is there anything more basic bitch than Adam Levine and Maroon 5 for the Skeleton
No.
Twins? Right? Isn't that
No.
the very paradigm of basic bitch? Adam Levine and Maroon 5.
He's got nothing going on in the fucking kicker. Thank you, Gina, for reminding me. Everybody that's listening, all 210 live listeners, 9 listeners, don't forget to subscribe and like and comment. Hit that little bell so that you know when we're having a show, because I can't believe how many of you still come on here and say I didn't know there was a show tonight. And it's because you don't click the little bell and make sure that you have the correct email that will tell you, hey, we're starting live now.
And thank you too, Master. All right. I'm gonna Monique. I'm gonna get that loofah. I'm gonna get a couple wines in, get you in that shower. Thank you too, Matt. Yes, catch Monique on the Who Are These podcasts with AJ Benza and Anthony Cumia.
Yeah, it
It's
was
very
quite
good
the
stuff.
show.
Was it good,
quite
Mon? Did
the
you
show.
divulge any information about John? Because I'm sure they tried to pry it out of you.
You know what?
Sarah.
Carl actually, I text with him every so often, and we've talked to each other a couple of times, and Carl knows pretty much everything that John has ever fucking, tried to shove down my throat in terms of his troll-like behavior and shit like that when I first had Carl on. And I did mention it in the show that when Shuli had put up that, he's getting these like weird text messages about watch your back in New York and shit like that. Immediately when Carl was on, and Xavier knows this because I didn't even freak out because I don't really care. I've had the best of trolls after me. I don't fucking care. And, I was getting from different text numbers, things trying to attack my family and shit like that. And I'm like, all right, this is classic fucking troll-like behavior. And when Shuli showed that, it was the exact same thing. It was the exact same type of text message.
Tell us something personal about Monique.
Bon, you're so good at that, man. You
No,
really
you are good at
destroy
that.
Fred already. It's not even.
Is this a rerun?
Yeah,
Sarah Silverman. That's a great pull by you. I was gonna get that. That's the Sarah Silverman show we did, guys. When she went out. That was Howard's impetus to get political when Sarah gave him a spanking on the air.
Hey,
She loves as hard as she works.
Oh my God, isn't that?
Hey, check it out. Check out Kilo Sierra Alpha. Breaking news: Joe Buck asked Jimmy Kimmel on Monday Night Football if he can get Stern out of his basement.
Oh, I gotta hear that. I'm gonna watch that after this giant cowboy game.
Oh, is the time? Is there? Oh, it's Monday Night Football night. All right,
Yeah,
guys.
No, there's a
Go
video
watch
on
football.
Reddit already.
Dennis, hopefully we see you again tomorrow.
I should be.
Don't die.
We
Don't
are.
die, Dennis.
We are praying
Don't
for
die.
Dennis to be okay.
Wednesday is going to be the wacky day. That's going to be
Wednesday's
wacky.
Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Can I have your
Wednesday.
computer, by the way?
What?
Can I have your computer if something happens to you? I got dibs.
Can I have your
It
driveway?
may have water damage.
That was
This is like-
nice. That was nice.
It's like a legal document. I have dibs on Dennis stuff.
All right, guys. Love you all. We'll see you mañana. Have a great. Hey guys, thanks for hanging with us tonight. Please join us for any further discussion at RadioGunk.com in the forum section. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter at RadioGunk. And don't forget to like this and subscribe to us and hit that little bell so you know when we're doing a new show. Thanks.